Hey everyone, Decav13 here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Stay Night. A lot of revelations and emotions in the last episode. If you didn't watch it, I recommend checking it out. Because I feel like I can't really do it justice by trying to recap what happened in it. But we're moving on to day 10 today. Now that we have chosen our side, we're going to protect Sakura until the very end. So let us look into day 10. See what exactly is in store for us here. So February 9th. Dark Woods, Sleeping Beauty. I open my eyes. I stick my arm up in the air for no real reason, stare at the ceiling, then let it fall on the futon. I keep gazing absently at the ceiling without getting up. It feels like my whole body is slow. My head is in a daze and my body wants to rest. That must be why I don't feel like getting up, even though it's already morning. Maybe the fatigue has been building up. A lot happened yesterday, but I didn't go to bed particularly exhausted. I probably feel this way because I didn't sleep enough. Sakura is in much worse shape than I am anyway. She's doing her best, so I can't let a little grogginess keep me down. I pump myself up for the day and get out of bed. Then the dizziness hits me again. It isn't from my body's slowness. It's like, as soon as I look at my bedroom door, I remember what happened last night all too vividly. Oh man. This is already making me blush. How am I going to talk to Sakura today? I'll be okay. I've already run this simulation a bunch of times. There's nothing difficult about it. It's just a good morning, like always. What am I getting so worked up for? But I thought Sakura would be in the kitchen, but she's already putting breakfast on the table. Well done. I try to think of something clever to say, but draw a blank. How unimaginative, even for me. Wait, I greeted her already. Idiot! But somehow Sakura's reply feels exactly the same too. Her eyes go wide as if she realized the same thing. I must be making the same face. The thought makes me relax. We've both been nervously looking forward to seeing each other. I feel myself smiling. This time I say it with relief. Then we awkwardly start eating breakfast. Even though we try to carry on like we always do, I still can't stop feeling nervous. I move my chopsticks uneasily. Sakura eats cheerfully like she's gotten used to it already. Is this something that girls are better at? Her smile squeezes my heart. I'm still blushing while Sakura is calm, so I dig into my food to hide my embarrassment. I set down my empty bowl with a clink. But all the side dishes on the table are still untouched. It took all my effort just to focus on my soup and rice, so I didn't even notice the other food. Sorry, Sakura, but I'm at my wit's end. I need some time away in my room to cool my head.
Senpai, 今朝のは口に合いませんか?
The tactical retreat ends in failure. My escape route was cut off before I knew it. I silently hold out my rice bowl.
はい、おかわりですね。いっぱい作りましたから、たくさん食べてください。
Sakura returns my bowl with an extra large helping of rice, and breakfast resumes. Oh well, I'll just have to deal with this. I'm already the only one blushing, so I can't let every single thing Sakura does throw me for a loop. Still though...
Sakura, ちょっと彼女は問題があるんじゃないのか?
先輩、問題って何ですか?
She looks at me in puzzlement. In other words... Sakura doesn't see a problem with Ryder sitting silently next to us.
だから問題っていうのは...
Hey, Ryder. I glance at Ryder. She seems to notice the imbalance I'm getting at.
私に気を払う必要はありません。食事を続けて結構です。
She urges just as gracefully as Sakura.
先輩、彼女のことが気になってたんですか?
そのようですね。確かに彼とは何度か争った仲です。食事の場に旧敵がいては落ち着かないのでしょう。
そんなことないです。先輩、ライダーを恨んでなんかいないもの。
Well, this is a pickle. I don't resent Ryder, but she's on the A-list of people I'm bad at dealing with.
どうでしょうか。彼の食事が進まないのは私がいるからのようです。目につくというのなら席を外します
が。だからそんなことないです。ね、先輩はライダーがいても構いませんよね。
I'm in a tough spot, but I'll say... More importantly, aren't you going to eat Ryder? If I'm being honest, it's hard to deal with her. Still, I know that Ryder is on our side. Ryder being here isn't what bothers me. Rather...
ライダー、朝飯食わないのか? 俺と桜が食べてるのに一人で正座してるだけってのは辛いづらいだろう。
I feel uncomfortable that Ryder is the only one not eating.
食べません。
Oh, she's kind of upset.
なんでさ、サーバントだって腹は減るんだろ? セイバーは黙っててもよく食べたぞ。
彼女は私たちとは別です。私は人間としての栄養摂取に興味はありませんし、それにあなたたちの作法は私には合いません。
なんだ、箸が使えないなら使えないって言えばいいのに。
先輩、
ちょっと待ってろ。ライダー用の食器とスプーンを取ってくる。
そうですね。それじゃあ私はオムレツを作ります。それぐらいだったらすぐですよね。
さくら。
いいからいいから。ライダー、ご飯食べるの初めてでしょ。これからライダーにはお世話になるんだから、せめてこれぐらいさせてください。
Sakura comes to the kitchen cheerfully.
なんだ、どうせだからスープ作るか。コンソメ余ってただろう。
いいですね。トマトも余ってますし、パパッとやっつけちゃいましょう。
And so Sakura starts making breakfast for Ryder. Ryder watches from the living room while Sakura happily shuffles back and forth. It's 9 a.m. by the time we finish breakfast. We skip school. Now that things have gotten this serious, I don't feel like going to school until the Holy Grail War is over. One of the reasons I went to school was to fight together with Tosaka. Now that our alliance is over, there's no point going out during the day. And most of all... too dangerous to let Sakura go outside. She's acting like she's in good health, but she could collapse at any time, like she did yesterday. Kotomine's treatment bought her time, but Sakura is walking on a tightrope. I don't know what Zoken intends to do, but I can't let him get anywhere near Sakura, especially in her delicate state. There's nothing I can do if the crestworms inside her start moving again. Shinji used the drug, but Zoken was the one who implanted the crestworms, so he can probably activate them again just by looking at her. And Kotomine did say that Sakura doesn't have much time left. I'm the only one who knows that. I can't even tell Sakura or Tosaka. What I need to do now is end this war while Sakura doesn't know the truth. I don't have the power to save her, but it should be easy to save her with the omnipotent power of the Holy Grail.
先輩、さっきから怖い顔して変ですよ。学校は休んじゃいましたし、ゆっくりしていいと思いますけど。
いや、休むのは戦いが終わってからにしよう。今は戦いに勝つことだけを考えないと。
先輩、戦いってまだ続ける気なんですか？
Her anxious tone is a little unexpected. I've had a hunch for a while now that Sakura has no intent to fight. She should know that the Holy Grail is the only way to heal herself, but she doesn't even consider it as an option. She has an aversion to fighting. Sakura is extremely afraid of hurting other people. That isn't wrong, and I don't intend to deny her feelings. Sakura can stay the way she is. I'm the one who made her cry, and it's my role to fight.
ああ、戦いは続ける。話し合いで済めばそうするけど、そうは言ってられないだろう。ゾウケンがサクラを解放するとは思えないし、サクラには悪いけど、あいつに聖杯は渡しちゃいけないと思う。残ったマスターは4人。俺はこの中からサクラを勝たせて、サクラに聖杯を使ってもらう。
そう言ってもらえるのは嬉しいです。
If past paths were any indication, no.
あいつが邪魔をするなら戦う。まあ、本当は聖杯なんて物騒なもんはあいつに任せたいんだけどな。あいつならきちんと鞘に収められるし、サクラを助けてくれるだろうし。
そうでしょうか。あの人は魔術師です。私みたいに弱い人間のことなんて 考えてくれないと思います。
I can't fully deny that. Tosaka is a good person, I know that. But she's still a full-fledged mage. Last night she said that she'd kill Sakura. Even if that's what the situation called for at the time, she still made her choice and was fully ready to carry it out. So, if it turns out that even the Holy Grail can't save Sakura, she'll have gained a weapon more powerful than Archer that she can use to end Sakura's life.
そうだな。けど、それでも遠坂にはできないよ。あいつにサクラは殺せない。
どうしてそう思うんですか、先輩。
いや、確証はないけど、あいつは根っこですごいやつだからな。あいつが選ぶ未来は、きっと誰も失わないとんでもなくハッピーな世界なんだと思う。だから大丈夫。遠坂は最後には絶対サクラを助けるよ。
先輩は遠坂先輩がそのいいえ、何でもありません。先輩がそう言うなら私も信じてみます。
ああ、けど正直あいつ任せってのは情けないし、譲りたくない。サクラを守るのは俺でいたいんだ。
I took Sakura's hand and made my choice. I can't let anyone else take my role. I'm going to do whatever I can to make Sakura happy.
先輩、気持ちは嬉しいです。だけど先輩はもう戦える状態ではないと思います。セイバーさんもいなくなって 遠坂先輩とも対立してしまった。先輩はもう聖杯戦争に関わる必要はありません。だから今まで通りどうか先輩の日常に戻ってください。私のせいで先輩が傷つくのは嫌です。
バカ、そんなのさくらのせいじゃない。俺はやりたいからやるんだし、今さら降りられる戦いでもない。そんなのさくらだって分かってるだろ。
I fought in the war as Saber's master. I chose to become a master of my own will, not just because I accidentally stumbled into the war. So I can't back down now. I'll fight, even if I'm alone. I'm going to see this through to the end. It's the only way I can repay Saber for going along with my selfishness.
じゃあ先輩はどうしても。
戦いはやめない。そのためにこれから今後の方針を決めようと思う。ライダーもいいか？
構いません。あなたの意見は正しい。さくらはどうですか？
Sakura silently agrees. Good. She seems to have accepted the logic of it.
よし。じゃあこれからの話なんだけど、その前に。
I look at Ryder. Since breakfast, I've gradually gotten used to Ryder's presence in the living room, but there's still something I want to address.
何でしょうか？
その目。うちにいる時ぐらい目隠しを取ったらどうだ？お前の魔眼はもう知ってるんだし、無理に隠す必要ないだろう。
Is she uncomfortable keeping the blindfold on?
つまり私が美観を損ねると。
まあ端的に言えばそうなる。その格好はともかく目隠しは大変だろ。せっ
Shiro.
かく綺麗なんだし、暑苦しいのは取ったらどうだ？
だそうです、マスター。あなたの意見次第では私も考えますが。
ダメです。そんなの絶対ダメ。
But why is Sakura so strongly against it?
なんで？さくらだってライダーが目隠ししてたら困るんじゃないのか？
困りません。大体ですね、ライダーの目は魔眼なんですよ。ちょっとした弾みで魔術にかかっちゃったらどうするんですか？
かかるのか、ライダー？
かかります。私の目は魔眼というよりは邪眼ですから。私本人が魔力をセーブしたところであなたを対象外にするのは難しい。
なんだそれ。ライダー、自分の目をコントロールできないのか？
できませんね。それゆえの称号です。
Yeah, that's a fair point.
ですが昨日ほどの効果は望めないでしょう。あなたは私の魔眼が石化だと知っている。不意打ちによる認識洗浄は弱まっていますか
Oh,
ら、
that's a comfort.
体が硬直するスピードは落ちるはずです。
そっか。じゃあ昨日みたいにいきなり体が麻痺するってのはないのか？
状況によります。あなたが気を抜いていれば魔眼の効果は上がるでしょう。
要するに気を抜かなければいいんだな。なら問題ないじゃないか。万が一魔眼にとらわれてもライダーは味方なんだからすぐに解除してくれるだろうし。
そうですね。私はあなたの命は取りません。そういった意味で言えば何の危険もありませんが。
ダメったらダメです。ライダーの目は石化だけじゃないんだから。
そうでしたね。では封印はこのままにしておきましょう。
Sakura pats her chest in relief. Anyway, I'm not really sure what that was about, but Ryder's going to leave her blindfold on.
そうか。気になるけどライダー本人がいいって言うならいいか。
ええ、素顔を晒すのは嫌いです。以後この件には触れないように。
Ryder says it coldly, her earlier levity gone. really is hard to read. Maybe we're just not very compatible.
話を戻そう。今後の方針だけど、とりあえずさくらはうちから出ないこと。造剣と直接会うのは危険だからな。あのじいさんと。
その考えは正しい。ですが、あなたはどうやってあの魔術師を倒すのです？何か考えがあるのですか？
I'm not sure what to say to that. I'm sure there are ways to beat him, but I haven't given much thought to picking one.
それは。
My fate depends on my next choice. I have multiple options. Out of them, the most viable one would be...
他のマスターと協力すべきだと思う。事情を話せば味方とまではいかないにしても、造剣を倒すのに手を貸してくれるかもしれない。
他のマスターって遠坂先輩ですか？
I think we might know someone who might be a bit more willing to work with us.
あ、いや、遠坂じゃない。俺、バーサーカーのマスターとは知り合いなんだ。イリアって言うんだけど、あの子なら話せばちゃんと聞いてくれる。
To be honest, I can't leave Ilya be either. Tosaka aside, I have no idea what Zoken will do next. He was willing to force Sakura to fight by planting worms in her. Ilya and Berserker are much stronger in direct combat, but Zoken is a schemer. He knows he can't win in a duel, so he'll use other methods. So Ilya can't get careless, even if she has Berserker.
バーサーカー。あなたはあの強戦士が我々の味方になると？
味方とまではいかないにしろ、しばらくは見逃してもらえる。それに協力は無理でも忠告ぐらいはしておきたい。
That girl came to this town all alone. Ilya was raised to be a master and given the name Einsburn. She's more than just a stranger to me.
そうですか。けど先輩、そのイリアって人の居場所はわかるんですか？
ああ、前に見せられた。道順は記憶している。広い森なんで想像通りにはいかないだろうが、半日もあればたどり着けるはずだ。
半日。それって今から行くってことですよね。
そうだな。前は急げって言うし、今から行けば夜までには帰ってこれる。
It's a rushed decision, but a timely one. I've been wanting to thank Ilya for her help yesterday. Moreover, I have a feeling that everything will change once I bring up Zoken's schemes in that unknown shadow.
行ってくる。できるだけ早く帰ってくるから、さくらは部屋で休んでいてくれ。
わかりました先輩。それならせめてライダーを連れて行ってください。何かあっても必ずライダーが守ってくれますから。
そうか。その方が安全だよな。
But I can't do that. It's just as dangerous to leave Sakura at home by herself. No, much more dangerous since she can't defend herself against Zoken.
いや、ライダーはさくらを守ってやってくれ。もし造剣が来たら魔力を消費する戦闘は避けて、さくらを抱きかかえて逃げること。ライダーの足なら追いつかれることはないだろう。
Ryder solemnly nods, as if she had the same idea.
ほら、ライダーだってそう言ってる。今回、さくらはお留守番だ。
けど先輩だって危険です。あの森は今。
心配すんな。危ないって思ったらすぐに逃げる。それにイリアはマスター以外に興味はないんだ。マスターじゃなくなった俺が言っても危険はない。
I give Sakura a reassuring clap on the shoulder and leave the living room. Now then. First I'll go to the shed and prep something I can use as a weapon. Sakura sees me off as I leave the Emiya house. I'm carrying 2 wooden swords in a tubular shinai bag, and something light to eat later. I don't have a map or a compass. I still have the sense of direction I got from the magecraft Ilya cast on me. All I can do is rely on the memory of what I saw and my own intuition.
10時前。タクシーで1時間、森の中を歩いて4時間。
I hope it only takes that long. Anyway, I'll have the taxi drive slowly While I look for an entrance to the forest I saw the other day. Once I find it, I'll leave the car and walk the rest of the way. If all goes well, I should make it to Ilya's castle before sundown. I'll think about what to do next once I meet Ilya.
シロ、
I hear something nostalgic from my house behind me. That businesslike and cool way of addressing me. The way she said my name politely and awkwardly, yet as kindly as she could. I say a name that can't possibly be here. Oh.
待ちなさい。出立の前に話があります。
That got me for a second too, but no, it was just Ryder.
ライダー。
As I turn around, I accept reality. This is Ryder. The girl who said my name in that way isn't here anymore.
いいけど、なんだ。こっちも急いでるからな。手短に頼む。
私の質問は一つだけです。あなたは桜を守ると言った。その理由を私はまだ聞いてはいません。エミヤシロ。
それ、俺は信用できないってことか。
ええ。私は桜ほどあなたを知っているわけではありませんから。
That makes sense. Ryder wants to protect Sakura, not me. So she probably wants to know what I'm thinking, at least.
一度しか言わないから、この手の質問はこれっきりにしてくれ。もったいぶってるんじゃなくて、人前で言うようなことじゃないからな。いいか、俺は桜が好きだ。それだけじゃない。昨日の夜、桜に魔力を。
そのようですね。朝、桜の魔力は安定していました。外部からの供給がなければ、桜はまた熱にうなされていたでしょう。それが何か。
それだけだ。俺は桜が好きだ。桜を守る理由はそれだけだ。自分が好きになった女を守るのは男として当然だろ
う。では、あなたは桜のために戦うのですね。目的はあくまで桜の体を救うため。
いや、するよ。聖杯が何であるかは知らないけど、それが桜を幸せにしてくれるんだったらいくらでも使ってやる。
桜を幸せにする。
そうだよ。今まで桜一人を苦しめてきた。だからその分、どんな手を使っても幸せにしてやりたい。
Ryder says nothing. She just stands there. Maybe now she knows why I'm embarrassed to say this out loud.
よし。ライダーの質問に答えたんだから、今度はこっちの番だ。要望があるんだけど、聞いてくれるか？
ええ。私にできる範囲でなら聞き届けますが。
まあ、簡単なことだ。さっきの呼び方だけど、白って発音じゃなくて、
don't bring back those
違うアクセン
memories.
トにしてくれないか。
わかりました。白でいいのですか？
いや、それじゃ白だ。もうちょっと、なんていうか。白ではなく
Ryder grapples with the pronunciation. Guess not then. I just caused her trouble by making her try multiple times. Ryder's blindfold and dark clothes give her a thorny image, but she's actually quite sociable. Somehow I get the impression that she would be a little clumsy in private life.
ごめんな。元のままでいいよ。
白。発音はこれでいいのですね。白。
文句なしだ。悪いな。俺のわがままに付き合わせて。
わがまま。あなたは白と呼ばれることが不快なのでしょう。なら私に発音を訂正させるのは正しいと思いますが。
まさかさっきの呼び方は好きだった。
Yeah. It's because I liked it that I don't want anyone else to say it that way. I know it's a silly thing to get hung up on, but I want her to be the only one to say my name that way.
本当にただのわがままなんだ。ライダーが悪いわけじゃない。
わかりました。あなたがそう言うのなら。
ああ、それじゃあ行ってくる。さくらのことよろしくな、ライダー。
I wave at Ryder and start running. First, I need to go to the intersection and hail a taxi. I'll take it to the outskirts of town and find the entrance to the forest that I've only seen once. Alright, interlude. Where are we going? Oh, back at the house. She's left alone. There is no longer any meaning in the boy's war. No longer a master, he charges off into danger anyway. Meanwhile, the girl who is the cause of it all is resting at home. The reality sinks in.
彼は森に向かいました。後悔しているのですか、さくら。
The servant inquires her master's feelings. Eyes gloomy, the girl shakes her head once.
後悔なんてできないでしょ、ライター。
そうですね。確かに意味のない質問でした。
けど辛いことだけじゃない。私ね、不謹慎だって分かってるのに嬉しいの。先輩が私のために何かしてくれるのは純粋に嬉しいから。
Even as she says it, pain fills her expression. Her lips feel practically sewn together by her guilt, even as she speaks of joy.
けどそれは間違ってる。おじい様は容赦なんてしない。先輩が戦う限り常に死の危険性がある。それに何より
It'll be a problem for her if she lets him get involved any further. The future holds nothing good for either of them. That's why she hoped he would give up on the war and go back to their normal life. She doesn't have much time left anyway. She'd prefer to live the rest of it for him. However, beneath that desire she feels a glimmer of hope. That his fighting might allow them to be together longer. No, she's simply delighted to see that her beloved is fighting and getting hurt on her behalf. She doesn't want him to fight, but she's overjoyed that he's doing it for her. Two competing wishes vie for her heart, and she's stuck unable to decide which one matters more.
嘘。結婚なんてしてないくせに。
She mumbles in anguish, keenly aware of her own dark nature. That's right. Actually, she wants him to fight. She wants him to save her, to make up for all the time during which he had never noticed her. So, it's alright if he gets hurt. She's thinking something she never should. She clutches her chest in pain. The worms inside her wriggle up and down her nerves as if responding to her dark desires. It was only an instant. That single thought of him getting hurt is enough to make the worms violate her body even more. Wriggle, wriggle. All their squirming in her body starts to make her ears ring. A chill runs through her blood. My body is so disgusting, so wicked to be aroused by something like this. The worms that dissolved in her blood became a sweet poison, heating her body. They swell and roil like waves, swallowing her consciousness. When she gets aroused like this, she always thinks, these defiled arms and legs can't be human. The dark longing makes her stumble, and she tumbles to the ground in a tangle of hair and limbs. She can't stop breathing. Her spine fuses together like sticky sap. It's no different from the things attached to her nerves. The more she tries to resist them, the deeper the worms invade her nerves, melting her mind away until she feels like she's become a worm. The ominous vision grips her entire body.
さくら。
大丈夫。私はまだ平気です。それよりお願いライダー。どうか けて。
命令ならば従います。ですがさくら、あなたの体とて長くはない。私を行使するということはあなたの余命を削ることです。
どうせ長くないもの。私今はちゃんとしてるけど、気を抜くとね、自分が何をしていたかわからなくなるの。日に日に記憶が曖昧になって、手足の感覚もない。時間の感覚だってもうバラバラで、一日が長く続いてくれないんだ。今朝だってなんか先輩を見送ってから1週間ぐらい経ってる気がするの。
She says it as if it doesn't particularly bother her. She's already accepted her death. Even as she tries not to shamefully cling to hope, she wants to protect him.
承知しました。主の命に従い、エミやシローを護衛します。
ありがとう。ごめんねライダー。私がダメになったらすぐに新しい人と契約して。先輩はちょっと嫌だけど、ライダーならいいかな。
She forces herself to smile. The black-clad servant nods once and leaves her master.
良くない風です。宝具を使用することになりますが、構いませんね。
危なくなったら先輩を連れ帰ってきて。
分かっています。けれどさくら、私はあの老人ではなく、あの神父こそを注意すべきだと思うのですが。
That is a very good instinct, Ryder. Ryder leaves with that last remark. That was a surprise. Her servant doesn't give her opinions. She has a stoic personality and carries out orders exactly as they're given. Until now, she's never made so much as a suggestion.
そうね。私も本当はそう思うわ。
A sing-song whisper. A languid, even graceful expression replaces her earlier gloom.
けど安心してライダー。だってあの人、私には勝てないもの。
She giggles, like a girl picking flowers. A few minutes off the highway, I find the forest entrance, which feels familiar despite this being my first time seeing it, shrouded in mist even during daytime. In the woods, mist hanging in the air and the lack of sunlight getting through through the trees makes me lose my sense of time.
うわ、大丈夫かこれ。
I'm amazed by my recklessness, all too late. I didn't feel lost when I was looking through Ilya's eyes last time, but this isn't something I can navigate using my memory alone.
いや、泣き言は後だ。なりふり構ってられないんだから、当たって砕けろだ。
I pump myself up. It's now some time past noon. When I was seeing through Ilya's eyes, it took roughly 4 hours to get to the castle from here. The rest is up to my physical stamina, as my talent and memory and aptitude reproduction skill as a mage. I walk through the forest. The thick scent of tree sap makes the air feel slightly stuffy. It isn't as bad as walking in the mountains, but the uneven terrain saps my stamina bit by bit. I think I've been walking on the path Ilya showed me for about 2 hours now. But I still can't see anything up ahead, and the lack of landmarks is bothering me a little. Thanks to my daily training, I don't have a problem with walking in the wilderness all day, but it does build up mental fatigue that isn't easy to notice. My memory tells me that it's 2 more hours to the castle. If I come across something entirely unexpected at that time, then I don't know if I'll be able to get out of the forest. My physical limits are still a ways off, but the mental stress could cause me to start making small mistakes. Mountain climbing requires one to stay hydrated, carefully monitor one's physical condition, make constant decisions, such as whether to step left or right next. or whether the next handhold is a millimeter too shallow or deep. This forest trek isn't quite so demanding, but it brings risks of its own. I can't tell what direction I'm facing or where my current location is. To say nothing of the distress that could cause, there are also direct threats from forest wildlife. In a forest as big as this, animals are sure to have marked their territory. People usually get attacked while hiking because they violated an animal's territory. Walking around recklessly is like asking to get attacked, and there are times when it's better to go around a game trail that would have taken you straight to your destination. Fortunately, there aren't any snakes in these woods. There are only signs of wild dogs in the area, and they're rarely sighted. The lack of local wildlife is probably due to Einsburn magecraft. Still, there are wild dogs around, and in the worst case I might run into something even worse than that. I avoid a thicket that looks like something might be living there, and continue retracing my steps. A wise man keeps away from danger. An iron rule of hiking isn't to run away at the first sign of danger, but to avoid dangerous-looking places to begin with.
にしてもこの森イリアに見せてもらった時と様子が違う気がする
It's like the air feels different on my skin. With each step I take deeper into the forest, I feel an unpleasant tingle up my spine. Don't go this way. Leave this forest right now. No matter how many people you bring, none will return alive. Even the trees seem to whisper that as their branches sway in the wind.
そういえばこの匂い
I thought it was the scent of tree sap, but it's not quite that. It has the same sweetness, but not the vitality of the forest. This is... I'm pretty sure.
待て
I draw a wooden sword from my bag. I stop, concentrate, and take a few minutes to strengthen my sword.
何か来る
I hear footsteps from the direction of the thicket. Straining my ears, I can hear it mixed with the sound of someone pushing through branches and a creaking noise. It's coming. Something makes a beeline for me through the greenery. I raise my wooden sword. Oh, it's probably Ryder. I tense my arms, slightly tighten my grip on the sword, raise the weapon to an overhead striking position, and...
そこまでだ動か
そこまでよ、
Rin.
動かないで。
What the hell are you doing here? We both freeze. Now then, how should I break this deadlock?
ちょっといい加減それ下げてくれない？お化け屋敷じゃないんだから。
Tosaka is the first to break the ice.
すまん
I lower the wooden sword as she asked.
珍しいところであったじゃない。一応聞いておくけど、ピクニックの下見ってわけじゃないわよね。
わけあるかそういう遠坂こそなんだよ森林浴って柄じゃないだろお前今度はな
失礼ね。森林浴ぐらいするわよ。そりゃ今日は違う要件だけど。
She protests with a grunt. What surprises me is that she doesn't deny she's up to something.
遠坂お前イリアとやり合おうってのか
I get straight to the point.
だとしたらどうなの？あなたはもうマスターじゃない。なら私たちの戦いに首を突っ込む資格も義理もないはずよ。
ないけど遠坂がイリアと戦うっていうのなら止める
なんでよ。もしかしてイリアとサクラを組ませるって腹？
それもあるけど遠坂イリアと戦ったらただじゃ済まないぞ始めたらどっちかが必ず傷を負うそういうのは嫌だ俺はもう
初めから戦いを止めるためにでしょ。なんだそれまだ変わってなかったんだ。
Tosaka shifts from her barbed attitude to an exasperated shrug. This is her true face. The one that always drags me around was close by my side, and was close by my side until Sakura ended up in her current situation.
なんだよ一度決めたことなんだからそう簡単に変えられるわけないだろ
でしょうね。ほんと前々から思ってたんだけど。
What's she getting at? Tosaka heaves an exaggerated sigh.
エミヤくんってすっごいバカでしょ。
I mean, I won't deny that. She gives me a grin so bright it makes me blink, even if she says that.
けど いいわ。懲りないやつだけど、あなたはそうでなくちゃ張り合いがない。不器用は不器用なりにせいぜい努力することね。
なんだその勝ち怒った顔は。なんか無性に腹立つな。
いいからいいから。で、その格好からするにエミヤ君もイリアスフィールに用があるってわけね。さっきは当てずっぽうで言ったけど、本当にイリアスフィールと話し合いをするつもりなんだ。
I can't believe she's grinning at me like that when I get mad. Damn it. For some reason I'm weak to Tosaka when this happens. It's like I lose no matter what I say. Like the more I protest, the more I get driven into a corner.
どうしたの？急に黙っちゃって。黙秘なんてエミヤ君らしくないわよ。
そうだよ。お前の言う通りだ。俺は今からイリアに会いに行くんだから邪魔するな。ついてきたら追っ払う。
あれ？何？もしかしてイリアスフィールの居場所
Were
知って
you
る
just
の？
wandering around here without any idea where to go? Oops. I said something else I shouldn't have.
よかった。それなら案内してもらえる？私も大体の場所はわかるんだけど、大昔の地図だから信憑性低くって。
お前な、俺はついてくるなって言ったんだぞ。
あら、エミヤ君はイリアスフィールと話し合いに行くのに私から目を離していいの？万が一私が先に到着しちゃったらもう話し合いどころじゃないと思うけど。
お前、俺大体な、一緒に行ったところでイリアに喧嘩売るんだろお前は。
売らないわよ。イリアスフィールと共闘できるならそれに越したことはないもの。とりあえずやるべきことは造形の排除でしょ。私がここに来たのはイリアスフィールに忠告に来ただけだもの。
忠告って何の？
マトウ造形が何やら企んでるから甘く見てると痛い目に遭うって。キャスターのこともあるし、バーサーカーまでああなっちゃこっちが不利でしょ。
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
そう忠告したところで戦いになるって覚悟してたけどね。私とあの子じゃ話し合いなんてできない。
Then how about you just leave it to me?
一応忠告してそれで戦いになるのなら仕方ないって思ってた。いずれ倒さないといけない相手だし、遅いか早いかの違いでしょ。でも見たところエミヤ君には当てがありそうじゃない？なら冒険をする必要もないし、エミヤ君の努力次第でことは丸く収まるってこと。ほら難しい顔しない。あなたがイリアスフィールを説得できるなら私はおとなしく帰ってあげる。でもし失敗したら協力してあの子を倒すか、二人して逃げられるように手を貸すわ。どう？
悪い話も何も、お前どうあったって俺の後をついてくる気だろ。
まさかそんなの言いがかりよ。たまたま行き先が同じってこともあるんだし。
What a devil. Still, Tosaka's doing me a favor by letting me guide her. If I let her go, she might fight Ilya, but if she comes with me, then she'll behave.
言っとくけど、俺だって道に確証はないぞ。迷っても文句言うなよ。
それは心配無用よ。あなたが向かっている方角、地図とぴったり一致するもの。私の地図とエミヤ君の案内があれば迷うことなんかないわ。
わかった、観念したよ。城まで一緒に行こう。そうすればとりあえずイリアとは戦わないんだな。
ええ、あなたがイリアスフィールと交渉している間も邪魔はしないわ。あの子敵に回したら厄介だけど味方にできるなら頼もうし。
That's not good.
自信。
The trees sway. A noise that resembles an explosion echoes from afar. No, this is no earthquake. Something like a typhoon is raging nearby.
登坂、これ。
まさかどうやら一歩遅かったようね、私たち。
じゃあ向こうで暴れてるのはバーサーカーなのか？
ええ、私たちがここにいる以上バーサーカーが戦う相手は一人しかいない。どうする？私は行くけどエミヤ君は残る？
There's no time to think. I mean, yeah, go see what's going on.
俺も行く。そのために来たんだからな。
それじゃあ私の後ろに行って。アーチャーを先行させるから、それで出会い頭に即死ってのだけは避けられるわ。
With that, Tosaka starts running deeper into the forest. Archer drops from spirit to material form, gives me one glance, then charges forward, blazing a path.
イリア、グーしていろよ。
I grip my wooden sword tightly and chase after them as fast as I can. The dark giant escaped from the castle with the little girl. It was an inexplicable fight. They left what would normally be the best possible defensive position and fled into the forest where they're more vulnerable. Danger was closing in. The girl sensed that unavoidable truth first. The enemy is slowly approaching the castle. When she sensed how great the threat was, she raised the castle's defenses to maximum and woke up the giant in preparation for its arrival. Berserker, the dark giant with a steel-like body. Robbed of his sanity, he's been reduced to an avatar of destruction bent only on obeying the girl. With her bodyguard and defenses, she has no enemy to be afraid of. That's what she told herself as she tried to fight down the sense of inevitable dread. And yet, as soon as the enemy approached, the giant at her side told her, "Run." Robbed of his sanity and speech, even the mad warrior sensed that he couldn't win against whatever was coming for them. Instantly, the girl fled. She knows. She knew. There's nothing they can do against the thing at the castle walls. With the sun behind it, the ominous shadow expanded until it became large enough to easily scale the walls. They would lose. Berserker can't win against it, to say nothing of herself. If they fight it, they're sure to lose, and Berserker won't be her servant anymore. That's the source of her unease. The girl ran because she was afraid of losing her servant, not losing the fight. With the girl in his arms, the dark giant races through the forest. Her apprehension weighs on her even more heavily. They can't escape. Vaguely realizing that there's no escape from this from this fear, the girl orders the dark giant to stop.
Oh, 賢明じゃな。
Zoken.
勝てぬと悟って出てきよったか。
Before her stands an old mage, wrinkled and old like a withered tree. Next to him stands an assassin wearing a white skull mask. Zoken Mato. She recognizes him with a single look as a mage of the Makiris, whom she was taught about when she left the castle in her homeland.
マトゾウケン、聖杯に選ばれてもいない者がマスターの真似事をしているのね。
The girl climbs down from the dark giant and faces the old man. There's no fear in her eyes. The threat that she and the giant felt is most certainly not the person in front of them.
聖杯はマスターなど選ばぬ。聖杯とは受け皿に過ぎぬもの。そこに意志があり、性別をするなどと、お主まで教会の触れ込みに毒されたか。
The girl watches the old man coldly as he chuckles good in delight. He's right. The Holy Grail does not choose. Masters are chosen by the Holy Grail, servants are granted physical form by its power, and are anchored by the world in the world by their masters. That rule, that pretext, was deliberately distorted and spread. The girl knows that the goal of the Holy Grail War is just the opposite. It is merely to fill the Grail. The masters are not chosen, they are merely components of a ritual. Likewise, servants are merely used to open the gate.
あなたこそモーネに毒されているんじゃないの、ゾウケン。器になる聖杯に意志はないけど、マスターを選び出す大聖杯には意志があるわ。
Yeah, the Greater Grail.
もともとこの土地に原型があるからこそ、あなたたちは英霊を呼び出して聖杯を満たそうとした。まあ、当事者であるあなたがそれを忘れるぐらいだから、マキリの血は衰退したんでしょうけど。
The girl's voice is cold. She shows nothing but scorn for him, and the old man accepts it with a chuckle.
いやいや、心配には及ばぬ。マキリの衰退もここまでよ。ことはなりつつあってな。予定では次の儀式で行うはずじゃったが。
そうなら勝手にすれば。私、あなたに興味はないわ。私以外の器なんて気に入らないけど、どうせ失敗するんだし、邪魔はしないから おとなしく地の底に戻ったら。
言われるまでもない。この老体に日の光は辛いのでな。ことが済めば早々に古巣に戻る。だがやはりのこうもうまくいきすぎると逆に不安が大きくなる。万が一のためお主の体をもらい受ける。ここでお前を抑えておけば我が悲願は盤石じゃ。
The old man burned to the ghastly aura. The white skull slowly stands up, but stops against the old man's wishes. It's obvious at a glance. The white-masked assassin is overwhelmed by the giant's presence. He has absolutely no chance of defeating it. He'll be cut in half in a single stroke if he attacks. So he stays still, knowing full well what awaits him.
主に似て臆病なサーバントね。そんなに死ぬのが怖いなら戦わなければいいのに。あなたといい造剣といい、そんなに自分の命が大事？
Assassin doesn't answer. Instead, his master laughs loudly.
ああ、大事だとも。我が望みは不老不死。こやつの望みも永劫に刻まれる自身の名でな。我らは同じ目的のためこうして邁進しておるというわけだ。
正気なのあなた。聖杯にかける望みが不老不死ですって。
The girl's eyes are filled with disgust. The old man's sneer twists even more. It's as if he was waiting for her criticism and scorn.
当然じゃ。見よこの体を。刻一刻と機能を失い悪臭を放ち体は内から溶け、こうしている今も脳細胞は蓄えた知識を失っていくのだ。その痛み、生きながら崩れゆく苦しみがお主にわかるか？
自業自得でしょ。人の体は100年の時間に耐えられない。それを超えようというのだから代償は必要だわ。それに耐えられないなら消えればいい。苦しいのなら死ねば楽になるんじゃなくて。
She's right. The old body trembles. The mage's back quivers as if he's having a coughing fit.
やはりそうきたか、インツベルン。貴様らとて1000年続けて同じ思想よ。所詮人形。やはり人間には近づけなんだ。
He chortles heartily, finding it truly hilarious.
なんですって。
たわけめ。よく聞くがよい、冬の娘よ。人の身において死に勝る無念などない。虫どもの苗床となるこの痛みなど、己が死に比べればかほどのものでもないわ。自己の存続こそが苦しみから逃れる唯一の真理。死ねば楽になるなどと、それこそ生きていない証ではないか。
Okay, old man.
だからこそお主は人形に過ぎぬのだ。その急増の体ではあと1年と持つまい。短命に定められた作り物に人間の欲望は理解できぬということだ。
ええ、理解できないわ。あなたは人間の中でも特例だもの。そんな長く生きたくせに自分の寿命を受け入れられないなんて乱心したとしか思えない。ねえ、あなたそんなに死にたくないの？
無論わしは死ぬわけにはいかん。このまま死にたくはない。まだ世にとどまり生を続けなくてはならん。だがそれもすでに
He's nothing but a big fucking
世
coward.
に崩れぬ体、永劫不滅の器が欲しい。そのために
聖杯を手に入れようというの？死が恐ろしいから聖杯を求めるの？
死が恐ろしくない人間がいるのかね。よいか、いかな真理、いかな境地にたどり着こうと無駄なこと。自己の消滅、世界の終焉を克服することはできん。最後に知っておけ。目の前に生き延びる手段があり、手を伸ばせば届くというのなら、 何者をもたとえ世界そのものを犠牲にしても手に入れるのが人間だとな。
Yeah.
じゃああなたは自分が生き続けるために他の人間をみんな犠牲にするっていうの？
おうよ。それで我が望みが叶うというのなら世界中の人間を一人一人殺して回
That's
っ
just
ておる。
pathetic.
人の強欲は尽きぬもの。お主とて木々の一本一本が寿命を延ばす妙薬とすればこの森など瞬く間に食らい尽くそう。たとえそれがわずか一日足らずの延命だとしてもな。己が一日のために世界の一部を殺していく。その願望はこの森だけでは飽き足らず世界中の木々を殺すことになる。その行いによって他人が滅びようと知ったことではない。当然であろう。もとより人間とはそのようにしてここまで広がり育ち増え肥満しきった有象無象。そこにもはや連鎖すべき法則など成り立たぬ。いずれ破
I just
綻
kind
す
of
る
love
の
to
であれ
yap
ば
about how much he's a
わし一
fucking
人
bitch,
が足
huh?
並みを崩したところで誰にも異論は挟ませぬが。
The old man rants merrily. After staring at him for a moment in surprise,
呆れたわ。そこまで見失ってしまったの、アキル。
the girl speaks in a voice very unlike that of a girl.
何？
思い出しなさい。私たちの悲願、奇跡に至ろうとする絶望はどこから来たものなのか。私たちは何のために人の身であることにこだわり、人の身であるままに人あらざる地点に到達しようとしていたのかを。
The laughter dies. The old mage stares up in the sky in contemplation.
人形風情がよくも言った。ユスティーツァーの真似事も刷り込み済みというわけか。
He stares at the pale girl with a hideous expression.
もうよい。戯れはここまでじゃ。お主の体はいるが心になど用はない。アインツベルンの聖杯、このマキリ造剣がもらい受ける。
The old man's shadow creeps along the ground. As if in response, the worrying pressure that had been hanging over the girl increases. The dark giant moves out without waiting for his master's command.
ダメ、戻ってバーサーカー。
Her voice doesn't reach him. Kicking up a violent tempest, the dark giant storms in to mow down the encroaching shadow. Oh boy. I hear the sound of wind. The thing running through the forest and making the trees shake creates a familiar sounding wind. The tremors gradually grow stronger. We're nearing the source. It's probably just beyond this forest. We're almost upon it. Just beyond this dense overlapping wall of trees, a battle of epic proportions is happening. I skid to a halt. Right before I come into a clearing, I stop as fast as I can and hide.
バーサーカー。
Tosaka takes cover behind a tree too, and we behold the disastrous spectacle in the clearing. The clearing is literally a battlefield. 3 servants are clashing weapons. One is Berserker, the Dark Giant. The second is the White Skull-masked Assassin. And the third is... Oh.
ちょっと、あれまさか。
Tosaka's voice is shaking. I can't quite hear it. She's whispering right next to me, but the words don't enter my brain. The third servant. It's my first time seeing the third combatant clad in black plate armor and visor. At the same time,
そんなことが。
it immediately calls to mind someone I know well. The Dark Giant raises a war cry. He cleaves through the air with enough force to split a mountain, making the earth explode. The third combatant doesn't shy away from the flying rock and grapple. The black-armored servant breezes past Saber's greatsword and Earthen Assault, as if it's the source of this raging wind. The roars of anguish belong to the giant. He possesses a steel body that renders all attacks ineffective, and the black swordsman easily slices it open. A sword paints Berserker's flank in black, and the inky light threatening to swallow him whole.
ダメ逃げるのバーサーカーそいつにやられたら戻ってこれなくなるもう戦わなくていいから早く
Ilya's voice is tearful.
無駄よ無駄。キャツに囚われてはもはや逃れられぬ。2対1ならばまだしも3対1では指し物大英雄もここまでだろうって。
Zoken must be the one cackling. The two masters, Ilya and Zoken, face each other from behind the protection of their servants. In front of Zoken is Assassin, who seems to have lost to Berserker. Berserker is in the front of Ilya. His entire body is being corroded by something black. A dark swamp surrounds his feet. The ground isn't made of earth, but some bottomless pit of mud hampering his movements. On top of that, black vines from the swamp trap his arms and legs. I know those. They definitely belong to the Shadow. But for an instant, I feel like I'm looking at someone I know well. The duel reaches a new pitch, bringing me back to my senses. It's a desperate situation. Berserker is strong. He's fighting the Black Swordsman evenly, even as the Shadow tries to swallow him. But he's at his limit. The Black Swordsman easily runs forward and slashes Berserker. Even if he's at least as strong as his opponent, Berserker's freedom of movement is stripped away as the fight drags on. Meaning that the scales will only tip further in the swordsman's favor with each passing second.
勝負あったな。あとは任せたぞアサシン。これ以上子によっては巻き添えを食らいかね。バーサーカーが飲まれ次第、アインツベルンの娘を捕らえ戻ってくるがよい。
Zoken blends into the mist. He's departing the forest, leaving Assassin behind.
よいか。キャツは目につくものならば、見さく。それが魔力の塊ならばなおのことだ。アインツベルンの娘。むざむざ飲まれることのないようにな。
His presence grows faint along with his physical form. Zoken is gone. Only Assassin and Berserker remain, as well as the Black Swordsman holding their weapon aloft.
ダメそんなのバーサーカーでも死んじゃうだからもう逃げてよバーサーカー
Ilya whimpers in an emotionless daze. Did he hear it? The dark giant roars and advances. His charge just looks like a tornado to me. Berserker kicks his way out of the ground, free of the black shadow that had swallowed him up to the waist, and charges. What he's doing is inconceivable. Not only was he being constricted by the mud at his feet, the shadow also had him entirely bound. He couldn't move. His body was getting eaten by the shadow, meaning Berserker couldn't take a single step. So he decided to tear himself free. With one hand, he grabbed the shadow that latched onto his chest and tore it off with a ripping sound. He literally tore his body open wherever the shadow had grabbed him, exposing his innards. His massive physique is swift. This time, his attack is sure to crush the Black Swordsman. This will likely be the last blow. With his body ripped apart and on the verge of death, he'll make absolutely sure to kill his enemy. And the swordsman answers the assault with their greatest attack.
やだやめてバーサーカー
Ilya runs. She starts running desperately towards Berserker as if she can't see the spreading shadow at his feet. Even if I go, there's nothing I can do. I don't have a chance of winning against the Shadow or the Swordsman. But still, right now I have to stop Ilya. I run out from the cover of the trees. Ilya's running at Berserker. I catch up to her and pull her back. In my ears gone numb from the stress, the fierce howling of the wind and the mad warrior's roars. Buffet me so violently I can't even see. The wind pushes me to the ground, Ilya's still in my arms. My vision's gone white and I can't even stand. No, I can't even remember to stand. My body is hot. Something sleeping deep within Shiro Emiya cries out. I don't know what or why, but I sense this heat resonating with the noble phantasm that was just unleashed. It's getting as hard to breathe as it is to see. I can't do anything. As long as that sword is burned into my eyes, none of my human functions will be restored. It's like I'm under a spell. My heart was stolen by something I only caught sight of for a brief instant. Even among the numerous noble phantasms, it's an illusion of a different magnitude. Few noble phantasms can rival its elegant design and fine workmanship. But its beauty is hardly skin deep. No, the word beautiful would be an insult to the sword. The sword isn't beautiful, but earnest and precious. It's a legend imbued with the hopes and dreams of the people. Neither a relic of myth nor a work of mankind. It is a crystallization crafted from our feelings alone. A sword of pure fantasy, sitting at the apex. My eyesight returns. Black crimson flame as dark as midnight illuminates the sky. Was the pillar of light that cleaved the forest darkness itself? The flames burn silently, but the air is cold. Maybe it doesn't burn oxygen, but freezes it instead. The darkly lit forest grows colder. A swordsman stands against the backdrop of the black flames. I scowl at the sword pointed at me, one of my arms still around Ilya. I can't feel any bloodlust or hostility from the swordsman. I'm afraid of being killed, but at the same time I clench my jaw in frustration. It's not her. This is someone else. It's not just her lack of malice. She doesn't have any of the nobility she used to. Her helm cracks. It must have been thanks to Berserker's last attack. When I see her bare face, I know without a doubt that it's her, no matter how much she's changed.
Say...
She doesn't reply. Her eyes are now gold and unreadable. They just stare down at me, her fallen foe.
Shiro.
Ilya's voice is trembling. Behind Saber, something that looks like the eviscerated corpse of Berserker sinks into the dark shadow. Ilya just watched her servant die in battle. Of course a young girl like her would be scared.
Saber.
I shake off the excess emotions. I hold on tight to Ilya and tense my right arm. This isn't the time to be shocked. I'm going to save Ilya. I'll save her and go home. I can't freeze in my tracks here and wait for death. Saber swings her sword. Just as she's about to cut me down while I'm trying to stand up, she instantly changes direction and deflects 3 arrows.
Archer.
Oh, thank you, Archer. Swords clash. Archer immediately follows his sniping up with a bladed assault. But it doesn't give me any peace of mind. Saber easily blocks his blindingly fast dual swords. Something's wrong with Archer. I look and see that his feet are tangled in the shadow too.
無様だな、アーチャー。清純の英霊ではあれの樹海藻には逆らえん。今の貴様はこの森に満ちる怨霊と大差がない。
That ruthless voice definitely belongs to Saber. She nonchalantly steps on the shadow and... effortlessly sends Archer flying into the woods behind him. Even if the shadow was slowing him down, she cut right through both of his sword's guard without even trying. Then she does it again. Saber faces me silently. Those eyes. They declare that she'll kill me unless I hand Ilya over.
シロ
Ilya lets go of my arm. The gesture seems to say that it's okay to hand her over. It flips a switch inside me.
下がってろ。森まで行けば遠坂がいる。そこまで行けばなんとかなる。
I push Ilya back and take hold of my wooden sword with my now free left hand. I take a Seigan stance. If Saber comes for us, I'll use all the strength and magical energy I have to strike back. That's all I can do now. I have nothing to say to Saber. I can't apologize, nor can I ask her to come back to me. She isn't speaking to me, so that isn't something I should say to her. Saber's my enemy now. The only way I can respond is to fight back as hard as I can. I tighten my aim. I won't try for a mutual kill. Saber personally taught me that it isn't an effective tactic. An attack that risks your own life only works when you're evenly matched with your opponent. I can't hope to achieve that against Saber. So, I'm only going to try one attack. Now that her helmet is broken, I should be able to do some damage if I go for the head. It'll take everything I have. I'll defeat my enemy and survive. Unless I imagine myself fully committing to this, I don't have a chance against her. Here she comes. Dodge, 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 dodge! Who cares if it looks bad? Who cares if I have to crawl in the mud? If I can't dodge the first attack, then forget protecting Ilya. I'm dead. I've sparred rashly with Saber enough times to know that she won this bout. Her downstroke attack streaks like a diving falcon from my upper left. It's a slash precise enough to cut a grain of rice, coming for Shiro Emiya's head. But my head stays attached. Saber's sword stops just shy of my neck. What happened? Then she wordlessly lowers her sword and turns away. Don't tell me she stopped her sword because of that. The black swamp spreading across the ground. That shadow is trying to crawl out of it. There's no doubt. It's that unknown being, that clump of curses that I saw before in the park.
私の役目は済んだ。あとは貴公に任せる。
ありがたい。たやすい仕事だ。マジュヌーンに敗れた失点を取り返せる。
Saber walks deeper into the black swamp, and then she sinks into the shadow with a bubbling noise just like Berserker. I watch until she's gone. I have no way of knowing why she's still in this world or why she's on their side now. If she's my enemy, then I have to fight her. That's what war is. But still, I can't help but think that if I had been stronger that night, she might never have been warped into that dark version of herself.
エミヤ君
Tosaka's voice pulls me back to reality. Right now, we're facing the creeping black shadow and assassin with the skull mask, locked into a smile.
逃げるぞ、イリア。
I take Ilya's hand and run. Ilya gives the swamp that swallowed Berserker one last sad glance and holds in her tears as she starts to run. We run through the forest. I'm following Tosaka's back. I can sense Assassin chasing us through the trees.
エミヤ君後ろ
Tosaka should have gotten far ahead of us by now, but she slows down and turns back. She must be worried. I know the enemy is right behind me, but I can't do anything about it. My pursuer is Assassin. How am I supposed to shake him off with Ilya in tow?
そこまでだ。お前はいらない。
A sinister voice growls in my ear. I look to the side and see a face in a skull mask, smirking and licking a dagger. The white skull is blown away. Assassin was running next to us until someone kicked him in the stomach.
奇襲でなければ小僧の首も落とせないのか。三流。
Archer doesn't stop as he says it.
しんがりは任された。お前はイリアを連れて逃げろ。急げ。あれに追いつかれたら終わりだぞ。
Archer's looking at Assassin and something else approaching from behind him. It's catching up. The shadow is corroding the ground itself as it catches up to us.
アーチャー戦技は後だ走れ小僧イリアの手を取ったからには最後まで守り通せ
Archer slightly slows and falls behind us. For an instant, just before he leaves, he looks at Ilya with a terribly sorry expression. We leave the melee behind and escape the forest. The clash behind us continues between Assassin, our pursuer, and Archer, there to head him off. Assassin is forced back repeatedly, unable to go on the offensive. He clashes evenly with Archer. Each dagger Assassin throws at me whenever he spots an opening is shot down, leaving him clearly frustrated. But that isn't because he's weak. Archer intercepts dozens of thrown daggers. He does it with vigor unlike anything he's shown thus far. Archer has the advantage. I don't know why, but right now he's fighting with demonic frenzy. Oh, probably because of Saber.
貴様なぜ動ける
Assassin desperately parries a shot, retreating. Archer retorts.
知れたこと私は他の連中のように真っ当な英雄ではない清純ではない英霊ならばあの泥と同意つまり
Archer steps back, perhaps sensing an
お前ほどではない
opportunity.
がこの身もいびつな英霊ということだ
And brings a sword down on the white mask. The black robe scrambles wildly. Assassin flees, clutching his slashed face. It isn't a temporary withdrawal, but a flight for his life. The black-robed servant escapes Archer and disappears into the wooded gloom.
上出来これで追いつかれる心配もなくなったご苦労様アーチャー疲れたでしょしばらく休んでいいから霊体に戻っていて
Tosaka congratulates him with palpable relief.
リン
Behind her. It boils up, as if it was born in the shade of the trees.
何
She turns around. Simultaneously, the shadow's black tentacles reach out.
と坂
I won't make it in time. I can only watch as the tentacles lance forth to impale Tosaka. But skewer Archer instead after he pushes her out of the way. Tosaka stares up in shock at Archer. Archer's done. He's still breathing and there isn't much blood. He's been impaled, but if it isn't through a vital spot, he should be able to regenerate from it. Still, I know that he can't fight anymore. That thing kills servants. No matter how powerful heroic spirit is, it can't beat the shadow because it's a summoned servant. I just know that, somehow.
嘘アーチャー何してんのよ
Does Tosaka sense it too? She calls out to Archer in a trembling voice, climbing to her unsteady feet, but...
来るなさっさと逃げろタケ
Archer's harsh rebuke stops her in her tracks. The shadow pulsates. This forest will die. All of the surrounding mana is being sucked into the shadow. Stupidly, I think that it reminds me of a water balloon. The balloon is engorged and still filling. An unsavory premonition of it bursting and exploding its contents all over us flashes through my mind. We're going to be caught in it. We'll be completely swallowed by it here. Archer pulls out the tentacle skewering his body and runs at Tosaka. Then I'll protect Ilya. Archer has Rin. We just need to focus on Ilya. I'll protect Ilya. I can't protect two people at once. Tosaka has Archer, but Ilya has nobody else. So I have to protect her. In Berserker's place. I tackle her to the ground, just as I cover her with my body. My sight and spirit are dyed jet black. It's hot. feel like my body's about to be blown away. A wave of compressed magical energy erupts into a tempest that violates the whole forest. Nothing. My vision is all black. It's so dark, even though I can see clearly. I must have fallen into a black sun. I have no self, no body. It must have been melted by the sun. I have no body. The complete sensory loss is more revolting than any pain. But that's a problem. I can't protect Ilya without my body. The Black Shadow will try to take Ilya away. I use my right arm to resist as best I can. I hug Ilya with my right arm and hold onto the ground. That's when I finally realize it. I do have a body. After all, I can't protect Ilya without a body. Wow, I'm being so dramatic. I'm only missing everything from my left shoulder. It's all oh. Left arm gone. My body is still here. I'm still here. But so is the feeling of loss. It's not like every part of me got wiped out, but I still feel a deep sense of loss, as if I really have lost my whole body. I'm disappearing. The shadow melts away without a trace, as if it's expended all its power. Ilya's safe. I don't know what she's saying. Maybe my ears are ringing. Tosaka. I wonder how she's doing. Archer is there. His red cloak is soaked in blood and he looks so weak, like he's about to disappear. That's weird. What's she doing here?
正気ですか？そんなことをすればあなたは
考えるまでもない。何もしなければ消えるのは2人だが、移植すれば確実に1人は助かる。どの道この体は限界だ。
Oh, Archer.
このまま消えるというのなら、これをくれてやったところで変わるまい。
Archer's talking to Ryder. I wonder what's happening. In the end, he...
通常ならば死ぬ。人の身に霊体をつなげては助からない。だが、俺とその男は特例だ。リンが目を覚ましたら、うまく処置をしてくれるだろう。
Archer's giving up his left arm and his life to save Shiro. Just once, he lovingly touches Tosaka's hair. Everything's growing dark. The black sun is gone. So this must be my mind sinking into the dark.
ここまでか。達者だな。遠坂。
Archer says goodbye in a voice that sounds just like mine. The shadow shudders. The Red Knight is drenched in blood. Tosaka is sitting on the ground in shock. 5 meters away from them stands a silver-haired girl holding hands with Shiro Emiya. The shadow shudders. It shrinks like a withered tree, then expands like a pufferfish. No, its venomous nature resembles a more wicked deep-sea creature. It keeps swelling, growing shamelessly and endlessly, until it covers the entire forest in deep black. In an instant, the Red Knight dies protecting Rin Tosaka, and Shiro Emiya is saved by sheer luck. He was fortunate that the forest terrain is filled with crags and valleys. Shiro Emiya evaded the shadow in a ditch, but his exposed left arm was not so lucky. She awakens from a dream. It's been half a day since she sent Ryder to protect Shiro. Sakura had been sharing her servant's perception so that she could keep an eye on things from the Emiya house. The shocking scene jolted her back to reality. She feels nauseous. She's hit by the vertigo suddenly severing her senses from that of her servant. Her sleeping body is covered in sweat. And if she even tries to breathe, she suddenly... The contents of her stomach rise to her throat. She runs to the changing room. Clinging to the sink, she covers her mouth with her hand, not breathing. She can't contain the bile in her chest and it spills out. Her shoulders heave up and down. Her long hair sways like a curtain, concealing her face from the mirror.
嘘先輩手が
She recalls the nightmare with horror. Those images were real. Shiro Emiya protected the silver-haired girl and the shadows swallowed his arm. It was devoured down to its socket.
私なんてどう
Sakura berates herself, as if she's thought something she shouldn't have. She feels both chills and a strange sense of exultation, and can't quite process what happened or what she should do next. All she knows for sure is that she hates herself. Before, she had a similar invasive thought. If she's injured Shiro Emiya so that he can't go outside, then he wouldn't be in danger anymore.
違うそんなの違ったんだ
Yes, it was wrong. It wouldn't solve anything. How fickle of her to wish that he'd get hurt enough to not go outside. And now she'd hurt Shiro Emiya in a way that had nothing to do with her wish. His life was in danger, never mind his ability to leave the house. Both of these things actually happened. That was what it really meant to hurt him. How could she have wished for something so awful? The nausea won't go away. She's already vomited everything in her stomach, but the retching won't stop. Blood and bile. It's almost as if the mangling pain in her stomach and the searing in her throat are meant to punish her, she thinks to herself. Several dozen minutes pass. After running out of even her stomach bile, the nausea passes, and she finally regains her composure. She pants roughly. Her shoulders heave, her breathing ragged. She grips the sink in both hands, trying to catch her breath like she's just finished running a marathon.
でもこれでもう先輩は戦えない
Her honest feelings slip out in a rapturous tone. It's a short whisper. Disheveled and winded, she looks up. The image of her in the mirror is weighed down by guilt. She looks downcast and worried for Shiro Emiya's welfare. She sincerely and earnestly wishes for his safety. The mirror reflects her crooked grin. It's hot. I'm trapped in a steamy stone room. The heat seeping in from my shoulder joint is like thousands of microscopic bugs eating my cells. My shoulder. It's like countless bugs are gathering in a wound I can't see. It's hot. My body burns from within. This is more like a frying pan with a lid on than a sauna. There's a sizzling sound. If I relax, I might find myself burned black. It's hot. The heat melts my mind, not my body. Oozing, roaring. The heat spreads fiercely and cautiously, burning and rewriting my genes. Will this nightmare finally end? It's hot. The open hole is covered to stop the bugs from escaping. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot, 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 hot. The hole is my shoulder. Bugs barge into my body through that entrance. The entrance, the hole they should leave through, is blocked by flesh that isn't my own. I'm changing. Something unknown is changing me. It's coming in. Knowledge I shouldn't have enters my brain. His combat experience and knowledge. His noble phantasm. Not those short swords. Kansho and Bakuya. He was a blacksmith, heroic spirit who favored those swords also forged by a famous blacksmith. So he forged them too. He could reproduce anything he saw and understood. No, it wasn't reproduction, but projection. A unique type of magecraft that recreates the caster's imagined principle of creation. The heat burning in my heart demands that I master it. Are you kidding me? That's impossible. I can't let this inside me. I don't know projection. I haven't reached that level yet. This shortcut is definitely going to destroy my body. I already have my hands full just being myself. I can't remember all this other stuff he's showing me, much less master it. I'm not strong enough to do it. You and I are complete strangers with nothing in common, so there's no way this will take. No, even if it does, I couldn't possibly endure it. Can't lose track of time, can't get out of order. Even if you help me, I don't have the skill to handle it. My consciousness slowly returns. I'm in an unfamiliar room, lying on an unfamiliar bed. I sit up. I think I saw Saber in the forest, ran away with Tosaka, then I took Ilya and... We lock eyes. Ilya is right next to the bed, staring at me with wide eyes.
そっか。無事だったんだ。イリア。
I sigh in relief. I don't know what's going on yet, but I'm really happy that Ilya is alright.
やった目が覚めたんだねシロ
イリア。
Ilya dives into my arms.
よかったよシロ
Ilya keeps repeating that over and over as she buries her face in my chest. Well, she's got me. I really have no idea what's going on, but if she's crying this much, then I'll just have to stay still and let her.
怪我は痛まない少しでもおかしいなって思ったらすぐ代わりのものをつけさせるから
Oh, he's gonna freak out, isn't he?
ああ、別に痛いところなんてないよ。それよりイリア、あれからどうなったのか説明。
Before I can finish my question, I feel like a long blade is driven into my body. I'm unable to bear the pain, my right hand scratching at my chest.
シロ落ち着いて我慢するんじゃなくて左腕を押さえつけるの
腕。
I don't understand. I don't really understand, but I want the pain to stop. I calm my heart rate. Once I close my eyes and meditate, I immediately sense what's wrong. If I know the source of the pain, the foreign element, then I can slightly control the pain. I just need to build a barrier to prevent the alien parts from mixing with my own body.
大丈夫。落ち着いたよ、イリア。
うん私にもわかるよどうなることかと思ったけどとりあえず反発し合うことはないみたい
Ilya seems to know where the pain is coming from. I look down at myself and notice that I'm wearing a hospital gown. No, it's more like a bunch of belts than a gown. The fact that I can only move my right arm is proof enough. Everything else is fixed tightly in place. I can't even change my own clothes like this.
なんだこれ。イリア、なんでこんなの着てるんだ、俺。
それは
She looks away uncomfortably.
そこからの説明は私がしよう。エミヤシロ。
And then, someone appears who I didn't really want to say.
あちらも持ち直した。こちらは事後説明だけだからな。用がなければ退出したまえ。
どうだか私はシロと一緒に外に出るのあなたが本当に何もしないのなら私がここにいても問題はないでしょ
なるほど、確かに問題はないな。 だが説明は簡潔に済ませたい。邪魔をしないというのなら隅でおとなしく座っている。
そうね。じゃあそうさせてもらうわ。
Ilya walks by Kotomine and leans against a wall.
さて、状況説明の前に先ほどの疑問に答えておこう。あまり驚くなよ、エミヤシロ。
Kotomine reaches out. The priest undoes the belt, exposing my skin. This arm doesn't belong to Shiro, Emiya. I can tell even under all the cloth it's wrapped in. The thing serving as my left arm came from somewhere else. It's something alien that defies the law of nature. That should never be attached to me.
コトミネ、これは。
アーチャーの左腕だ。アーチャー本人の意志を尊重し、彼の遺体からお前に移植した。
アーチャーの意志を尊重。いや、それより遺体ってあいつは。
移植が済んだ後消滅した。ここに運ばれた時点で死に体だったのだが、よくも終わるまで持ったものだ。アーチャーの持つ特殊技能ゆえだろうがな。
Archer's gone. That means the only servants left are Zoken's assassin, Sakura's rider, and... No. She's changed so much that I don't think you can call her a servant anymore.
待て、アーチャーは消えたんだろう。ならあいつの腕が残っているのはおかしくないか。
移植が終わる前に消滅したのなら、その左腕も消えていただろう。だがお前のそれはアーチャーが現世にとどまっているうちに切り離し、お前の体に植え付けたものだ。エミやシローの魔術回路とつなげ、お前自身の魔力で現世に受肉させている英霊の肉。その手術がなった時点で、それはお前の肉体となった。その後ならばアーチャーが消えようと左腕は残る。その左腕はすでにお前の腕なのだからな。
じゃあ本当にこれはあいつの腕なのか。
そうだ。あのままではお前もアーチャーも長くはなかった。アーチャーはこの世にとどまる霊核を壊されており、お前も半死半生の手負いで傷口より生命活動に必要な中身を損ねていた。幸いアーチャーの体に傷は少なかったからな。彼はお前に唯一無事な肉体を提供することで死にゆくお前を生かしたのだ。
The half of me that was swallowed up by the shadow. The heat that invaded my mind, and this left arm that obviously belongs to someone else. Everything tells me that those events really happened. I collapsed in the forest. Then Archer saved my life.
けどサーバントの体を人間に移植するなんてできるのか。
つなげるだけならできなくもないわ。霊媒の意志は肉体ではなく魂を癒すものだって言うし、そこの神父は見かけによらず本物だったっていうことね。
I really do love that whenever someone talks about Kotomine, they always have to just shit all over him. It's great.
世辞は受け取るが、そう手放しで喜べることではない。
Yeah, things are pretty fucking grim.
異なる霊体同士の接合は禁呪と呼ばれる。なぜなら行ったところで絶対に失敗するからだ。霊体、魂の蘇生、復元は魔術では扱えない神秘である。故に今回も形だけ成功した後でショック死すると思ったのだが。
Yeah, but this is kind of a special case with Archer and Shiro.
シローとアーチャーは特別よ。私もさっき分かった。この二人ならつながりさえすれば持ち直すって。
Ilya avoids meeting my eyes, looking sad somehow.
ほう。ま、その理由は知らん。私にわかるのはお前たちの相性が良かった ということだけど。
Because it's the same
手
person.
術を始めた時は驚いたぞ。双子でもここまで瓜二つではなかろうとな。
I try putting strength into my left arm to confirm Kotomine's words. I can't feel anything. There's no pain, just feels like dead weight. I can't move it no matter what I do. It's like an arm gone numb from lack of blood flow. The sensation of having an attached arm I can't move causes mental fear rather than physical pain. My left arm is just a lump of iron now. Maybe this is what being a Tin Man would feel like.
全く動かない。これで手術は成功したのか？
無茶を言うな。つなげたばかりではそれが限界だ。数日経てば馴染む。先ほども言ったが、お前たちの相性は実にいい。この分であれば、だが注意しろ。私が言っているのは、あくまで回路が合うというだけの話だ。いかに相性が良かろうが、それは人間では扱えぬ英霊の腕。いや、腕というよりは兵器だな。強力ではあるが、使えばお前とて巻き込まれよう。
それは自滅するってことか？
無論だ。人間であるエミやシローがアーチャーの腕を使えば、肉体はアーチャーの腕に侵食される。いな、吹き飛ばされるという表現の方が正しいか。霊覚としてエミやシローの肉体はアーチャーの腕には到底及ばん。一度でもその腕を使えばアーチャーの魔術回路が起動する。そうなった時、お前の体はアーチャーの魔術行使に耐えられず、内部から崩壊する。いいか、使うたびに寿命が減っていくのではない。その腕を使えばお前の体に植え付けられた時限爆弾にスイッチが入るのだ。
What the hell? Is he basically saying that if I try to copy what Archer does even once, I'm as good as dead?
じゃあこの布はそのための？
ああ、そのための封印だ。それを巻いている限り、左腕は魔術回路を発現しない。お前が魔術を使おうと、その左腕だけは別のものとして扱われる。だが安心はするなよ。魔術講師をせずとも、生きている限り魔力は肉体に通るものだ。その度に左腕には痛みと気動、それを防ぐため、マルティーンの生骸符で左腕を覆っている。その布を巻いている限り、左腕からの侵食はある程度抑えられるはずだ。
To an extent, so it's still inevitable, but it'll just slow it.
ちょっと待て。ある程度抑えられるって、それじゃ完全には
抑えられん。そうだな。アーチャーの腕を使おうと使うまいと、結局はその腕
So
に
it's
侵
just a matter.
食され
It's
る。
just a matter of lighting the fuse. Well, it's just a matter of when you light the fuse, I guess.
長生きがしたいのなら、腕と拮抗するほどの魔術師に成長しろ。そうなれば生骸符を巻かずとも左腕の封印はできる。何？私の見立てでは、左腕に食いつぶされるまでにあと10年。それだけの猶予があるのだ。一人前になって左腕を御するか、慣れずに自滅するか、早急な話ではあるまい。
Hardly urgent. Someone just grafted this thing onto me when I wasn't even looking. There's no use whining now. I would have died in that forest. Archer's arm transplant saved my life. So I would be making light of his sacrifice if I complained.
わかった。とりあえず礼は言っとく。また世話になった琴峰神父。できれば4度目がないよう祈っててくれ。
減らず口が言えるのなら心配はいらぬな。では外に出ろ。礼拝堂でリンが待っている。
Kotomine heads for the exit. I get down from the bed and put on the clothes someone left for me. My left arm can't move, so I just slip on a coat.
よし。気を配ってれば痛まないな。 イリア、行こ
行く。
When we go outside, we're in the church's central garden. The sky is dark. It's already nighttime.
言い忘れていたが、その生涯符は解こうと思えば簡単に解ける。選択肢は常にお前にある。アーチャーの力を使うのは自由だが、使えば命の保証はせん。それを踏まえた上でせいぜいうまく立ち回れ。
When we enter the chapel, Tosaka's glaring at me. I don't remember her ever glaring at me like that before, but I'm relieved that she's safe.
さて、これで全員治療は済んだ。エミやシローはアーチャーの左腕を移植され、リンは毒素を洗浄された。何かこれ以上の要求はあるか？
あるわけないでしょ。これ以上あんたに借りを作ったら、それこそ命を担保にされかねないじゃない。
そうか。ではこれで解散ということになるが、一応監督役として聞いておこう。これからどうするつもりだ？
I mean, at this rate, what, the only masters left are Zoken and Sakura?
ことがこうなってしまっては聖杯戦争も破綻している。残されたマスターがこうも揃ってサーバントがいない状態ではもはや勝敗はついただろう。
Tosaka goes quiet for a moment. As Kotominai says, the war's victor is almost decided. The only masters left with servants are Zoken and Sakura. Normally the last survivors would fight, but Sakura can't disobey Zoken. In that sense, he's already won.
魔頭造剣としては魔頭桜を取り戻すか始末するかのどちらかだろう。これを防ぐのは難しく、お前たちには防ぐ義務もない。何しろ魔頭造剣を倒したところでお前たちに益はないからな。
へえ、サーバントがいないマスターは聖杯を手に入れられないってやつ？
そうだ。故に戦う意味はなく、これ以上の戦闘は無意味だ。このままおとなしく屋敷に立てこもり、聖杯戦争の終わりを待つのが正しい選択だろう。
ご忠告どうも。けど降りないわよ、私。
驚いたな。聖杯を諦めきれないということか。
当然よ。サーバントがいなくなっても私はまだマスターだもの。一人になったから戦いを降りるだろうなんて勝手に決めつけないでよね。
ほう、そうか。確かにそうだな。サーバントを失ってものこのこ七に赴いた者もいる。そう簡単に。
シローは関係ないわよ。いい？これはあくまで私の判断。私はまだ諦めてないし、造剣を勝利者にさせる気もない。それじゃあどっちにしたってあの子が助からないんだから。
う。遠坂。
I blink at her in surprise.
何よ嬉しそうな顔して。言っとくけど、あんたの真似をしたわけじゃないからね。私は賞賛があるからまだ降りないの。あなたみたいに勝ち目もないのに残るわけじゃないんだから。
そうだろうな。遠坂のことだからそうじゃないかって思ってる。
なんかそれはそれで引っかかるけど、分かってるのならいいわ。
Tosaka turns away with a huff. She isn't saying that she won't give up the Holy Grail to Zoken out of a sense of morality. If Zoken wins, then we can't save Sakura. If we want to save Sakura, then either Sakura has to win the Holy Grail, or someone willing to help her. Tosaka's saying that if someone's going to win, then it should be her or Sakura. That's the only reason she needs to fight Zoken. Tosaka can't actually obtain the Holy Grail anymore, but she still wants to help her little sister.
ではお前はどうだ、エミヤシロ。リンと同様、まだ聖杯を諦めないという。
Of course.
戦いはやめない。俺だって目的はある。このまま造剣の好きにはさせない。
そうか。 戦うというのなら止めはせん。絶望的な戦力差だが、魔頭造剣は小物だからな。何らかの策はあるだろう。
Our eyes meet. Methods, huh? I can't see any way to do it alone, but with Tosaka, we might just find a way to defeat Zoken. The conversation ends. With our treatment complete, Kotomine states that he has no reason to shelter former masters who don't even want protection, and asks us to leave.
言われなくても出ていくけど。なあ、イリアは行くところあるのか？
城はまだあるし、セラもリズも呼べば出てくるから帰る場所はあるけど、どうしてそんなこと聞くの？ 城。
Considering Zoken's probably still gonna come after you, you should probably stay someplace a little safer than the castle.
いや、一人じゃ危ないだろ。
Weird to say.
イリアさえ良ければ俺の家にいてもらいたいんだ。その方が何かと便利だと思うし。
いいけど行かない。シロのとこにはあの女がいるもの。
Oh, she means Sakura? Huh. What an odd thing to say. I looked at Tosaka for answers, unsure what Ilya meant by that. Oh, she's giving me a look that says not to drag her into this.
ほう。魔頭さくらを選んだのか、エミやシロ。
ことみね。
イリアスフィールは私が預かっても構わないが、このまま城に戻しては造剣にさらわれるだけだからな。
お断りだ。イリアは俺が引き取る。
お断りよ。イリアは私が借りるんだから。
Everyone wants Ilya.
お断りするわ。私、自分の居場所は自分で決められるもの。
それは残念だ。ではイリアスフィールは遠坂の屋敷に滞在するのだな。
バカ言わないで。アインツベルンのマスターは遠坂の家になんて行かないんだから。あ、そう。じゃああんたどこに行くのよ。シロのところも嫌だ。教会もお断り。私の家もダメだって言うならもう城に帰るしかないわよ。分かってるわ。元からあそこが私の工房なんだから他のマスターの世話になんてならない。バーサーカーがいなくたって私は一人でやってくんだから。あら、やっぱりそうなんだ。一度殺しかけたシロに助けられたくせに恩も感じずにお城に戻るわけね。聞いた？エミヤくん。あれだけ助けてあげたのに嫌われたものね。この子、あなたの家なんて狭苦しくてごめんだって言ってるわよ。何言うのより。私そんなこと一言も。言ってるじゃない。エミヤくんの家に行かないのはエミヤくんが頼りにならないからでしょ。だから安心できる自分の城に戻るって言ってるんじゃない。それはそうだけど私が城に戻るのはシロから離れないといけないからで。え？はあ、そうなんだ。頼りになるならないの前にそもそもエミヤくんが嫌いだったわけね。なんだ、そういうことは早めに言ってよ。
Tosaka ruthlessly prods Ilya. This is bad. I start to worry that this might turn into a fight that can only be settled with blood when...
そんなことない。私、シロが嫌だなんて言ってないもん。私が嫌なのはもっと別のことなんだから。だってさ、大人気ね、エミヤくん。
Tosaka snickers quietly, while Ilya glares at her with frustration. So whose house is Ilya going to? In the end, we decided that Ilya would come to my house. Tosaka and Ilya leave the chapel arguing. You could say they actually get along pretty well. The conversation is over. It's our problem from here on out, and I have nothing else to discuss with the priest. I start to leave the chapel, following Tosaka. Let me guess. Hold a minute. When behind me I hear,
忘れるな、エミヤシロ。お前は戦える体ではない。
a warning from the priest, which I've come to expect by now.
そんなことあるもんか。左腕が使えないだけの話だ。俺はまだ戦える。
そうか。ところで麻藤さくらの体調はどうだ？
さくらの体調？
I'm a little surprised. I thought he'd say something more spiteful, so why is he asking how Sakura's feeling?
どんな風の吹き回しだよ。今さらあんたがさくらの心配をして何になる？
分かっていないな。私はお前の体の話をしているのだ。いいかね、エミヤシロ。お前も危うい体だが、麻藤さくらはさらに危うい爆弾を抱えている。お前は戦わなければ無事だが、麻藤さくらは刻一刻と崩壊している。だからこそお前は戦いをやめられない。それが自らの死期を早めると承知した上で。麻藤さくらを救うというのなら、エミやシローは戦わざるを得ない。だが今のお前には戦いそのものが自殺行為に等しい愚行だ。故に麻藤さくらを救うということは自分を殺すということだと理解しているな。
それがどうした？そんなのもお前の知ったことじゃないだろう。
I decided that I'd save Sakura. That oath hasn't changed no matter what happens to my body.
そうか。命を捧げるほどの献身は美しいがな。あの娘はお前にとって果たしてそれだけの価値があるのかどうか。
なんだと？
最後の忠告だ、エミヤシロ。生かすということは欲望を満たすということ。麻藤さくらを生かしたいというのなら、それを最後まで忘れぬことだ。
I go outside. Tosaka and Ilya are waiting in the courtyard. Ilya is gazing up at the sky, looking a little chilly. Meanwhile, Tosaka is staring at me, and I can tell she's about to complain.
遅い。綺麗と何話してたのよ、シロ。
いや、何っていつもの皮肉だけど。
More importantly, I guess there's something I'm curious about. Should I ask? Tosaka, are you just going to use my first name now?
まあいいわ。時間もないし、回りくどいことはやめにしてあげる。ことは深刻だし、別々にやっても勝ち目は薄いし。尺だけど、昨日のことは水に流してあげるから感謝なさい。
Tosaka makes a haughty expression, then says something even more patronizing. She's hard to understand, but if I were to guess at the point she's making...
遠坂、それってつまり。
そうよ。協力してあげてもいいって言ってるの。だいたいね、あなただけじゃ心もとないでしょ。造剣を倒すって目的は一緒なんだし、それまで手を組んであげてもいいってこと。
She goes on, giving me a dissatisfied look. Finally, a light bulb goes off in my head. This sudden proposal is the best that could happen to me right now.
ああ、ありがとう。恩に着る遠坂。お前がいてくれるならこれ以上の助けはない。
I shake her hand vigorously. Seriously, what's wrong with me? I know I'm being silly right now, but I'm so happy that I can't help myself.
わかった。俺はいいからちょっとタンマ。
Tosaka backs away in a hurry. Also, she's been staring at my left arm.
その前に一つ聞くけど、あなた、その腕が誰のものか知ってるわよね。
I nod yes, of course. Tosaka pauses, sighing deeply, then...
じゃあシロ、今からあなたは私のサーバントよ。
I see. That's the logic you're applying here, huh?
私のサーバントで助かったんだから、それぐらい当然でしょ。
She says something totally outrageous. I don't quite... Nope, I don't understand at all. I try to jumpstart my brain to processing what you just said.
何言ってるのよあなた。そんなことで所有権を言い出すなんてバカバカしいにも程があるわ。
Good. Ilya gives her a timely answer.
だいたいリンの言い分は的を外れてるわ。そもそも白は私のなんだからリンにあげられるわけないじゃない。
I see. She's mad about the wrong thing entirely.
あんたこそ体言吐くじゃない。まさか一度見逃してあげたから白は自分のものだなんて思ってたの？それだったら私も同じよ。学校でばったり会った時なんて本当に頭にきてどうしてやろうかって暴れる寸前だったんだから。
そんなのリンが大人げないだけよ。私は毎日見逃してあげてたんだから。シロの命は私のに決まってるわ。生かすのも殺すのも私なんだから。関係ないリンは引っ込んでて。
This is a very interesting conversation.
関係ないですって。甘く見ないでよね。関係なくてここまで関われるかっていうの。アーチャーのやつが頼むって言ったんだから責任持って生き残らせるわよ。
I can practically hear their teeth gnashing as they glare daggers at each other. I wait for the argument to conclude, my frown deepening by the second. Well, I can tell that no matter who wins, it's going to give me a headache.
で、結局どっちなの?
Jesus Christ. Just when I thought the argument was going nowhere, they both decide to turn the last choice over to me.
どっちかって、何が？
だからどっちのサーバントかっていうことよ。シロの答えをまだ聞いてなかったし、ここではっきりさせた方がいいでしょ。
そうね。シロが嫌がってるのに気がついてないし、リンにははっきり言わないとダメみたい。
You're so petty.
ほら、言ってあげてシロ。シロは私のものでいいんだよね。
Are these his only choices? It isn't even worth considering. The person who has the right to order me around is... Oh, I have to pick one or the other. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Fuck. Tosaka?
遠坂だよ。そんなの考えるまでもないだろ。
なんで？リンは横暴で強欲で、おまけに休館長みたいにうるさいんだよ。なのに、シロはそっちのがいいの？もしかして、そっち系なの？
You know, Ilya, you don't need to personally attack me like this.
いや、そういうんじゃなくてだな、イリア。要するに、これは遠坂の指示に従うか従わないかって話だろ。それなら俺は従う。俺一人じゃ造剣を止められないし、俺はアーチャーのおかげで助かったんだから。
それは、あーちゃんは、だって、シロの。
命令権は遠坂に預ける。ほら、それってサーバントと何も変わらないだろ。遠坂がそう言うんなら、俺はサーバント扱いでも構わないよ。
I don't know, I think you might be giving in a little easily there. I look at Tosaka for confirmation.
遠坂？おい、人に話振っといて無視するな。
そうよ、分かってるじゃない。私のアーチャーがあなたに託した以上、私たちは運命共同体なんだから。アーチャーが預けた分、しっかり働いて返してよね。
もちろん、借りたものはきっちり返さないと寝覚めが悪い。
Yeah. No matter what our history is, I have a new left arm thanks to Archer. If he passed on while he had if he passed on while he still had his pact with Tosaka, then it isn't wrong of me to inherit the promise he couldn't keep to her.
じゃあ一旦ここでお別れね。家に戻って荷物を持ってくるから、シローは先に行ってて。
荷物を持ってくるって、もしかして登坂うちに来る気か？
当たり前でしょ。これから共同戦線を張るんだから一緒にいなくてどうするのよ。うちはエリアが嫌がるし、そっちにはさくらもいるし、どう考えても本拠地はあなたの家でしょ。
そっか、言われてみればそうだよな。
まったく胴に入ってると思ったらなんか抜けてるし、ちょっと選択誤ったかな。
Tosaka sighs dramatically and heads down the opposite path.
エリア、うちはこっちだぞ。なんだって登坂についていくんだ。
ちょっとね。リンが手を貸してほしいって言うから助けてあげるの。終わったらすぐ行くから、シローは先に帰っていて。
I should probably go calm Sakura. Ilya's going to help Tosaka.
登坂、本当か？
本当よ。ことがことだからこっちも秘密兵器の一つや二つは必要でしょ。私だけじゃ開かない蓋もアインツベルンの魔術師となら開くかもしれないけど、できれば見つけたくない。登坂の遺産、騎手話の置き土産が想像通りのものなら私だけじゃどうにもならないから。
じゃあ私も行くね。騎手話の遺産になんて興味はないけど、ゼルシュバインオーグの使ってた宝箱は綺麗そうだし。
Ilya pivots and runs after Tosaka, her skirt fluttering.
騎手はゼルシュバインオーグ。
I stand there confused. I've never heard the name before. Maybe it's a famous term that only real mages know. Oh, interlude. Going back to Sakura, or... Oh, Kotomine. The guests have gone. The chapel returns to its usual silence, and the priest gazes up at a statue.
いいのか？聖杯を逃して。
You know, what the fuck is Gilgamesh doing? He's just sitting back. A voice comes from behind him. A young blonde-haired man asks the priest a question in an amused tone, as if he'd been lurking nearby the entire time.
構わん。初めから執着があったわけではない。聖杯が彼らにつくのなら止めはしない。
そうだったな。もとより私に望みはない。その言が偽りでないのか。聖杯を押し止めるのは道理に合わん。
The young man suppresses a laugh. It's as if he's mocking the priest's words, as well as his own choice of free of desire. Of course, the priest really means it. The blonde man simply doesn't understand that the priest never had any desires in his life at all. In fact, Kirei Kotomine does not need the power of the Holy Grail. All he has is his earnest pursuit. The Holy Grail should respond to its own wishes. It is a wish granter that can only give answers that one approves of, to questions that arise from oneself. And what meaning is there in an answer that one wished for?
ことみ重ねて問うが、本当に聖杯に興味はないと？
願望期に用はない。それはお前とて同じだろう、ギルガメシュ。お前の目的も私の目的も、その実自らの願いではない。単にそうした方が楽しいからという快楽追求でしかない。そのようなものは食事と同じだ。願いとは自身を叶えるもの。だが自ら願いを叶えては人間は救われる。
The priest keeps looking up at the statue. Beyond it, at a time more than 10 years passed when he still waited for his wish to come true. He was born to a traveling priest in the year 1967. He was told that his name Kirei was a prayer. His father named him thus, hoping that he would be pure and beautiful. The son grew up as his father hoped. From a young age, he was a surprisingly insightful youth who possessed good morals and wisdom. His father was happy to have been blessed with a worthy successor, and the son understood his father's joy. The son excelled at making his father happy. That was probably why his father valued him so. With that in mind, the boy matured according to his father's ideals. He had no doubts. That he could not love his father and was only appeasing his expectations was a separate matter. The boy named Kirei grew up healthy and sound. There was just one problem. He was always confused by what his father called beautiful. He became aware of this discrepancy one morning. On that day, he woke up, rose from his bed, and realized. He's not sure why he realized it at that moment. In fact, he was troubled that he had not noticed it sooner. In any case, he realized he had forgotten something. His father prayed for him to be beautiful, and named him Kirei. That was what the boy had always questioned. All the things his father considered beautiful. Not once in his life had he ever felt the same about them. That's all there was to it. He thought moths were beautiful, not butterflies. Poisonous plants, not roses. Evil, not good. Even though he had common sense, believed in morals, and understood that being good was just, the boy was born with a fascination in everything that was the opposite of that. Nobody could understand his agony. Even Kirei himself could not tell whether he was truly in anguish. Still, he tried his best. He continued to seek purity and beauty, values that he never had from the beginning. He flayed his own skin, tore out his muscles, plucked out his bones. If he lacked it in his heart, then he might be able to find it elsewhere in his body. His father was on a pilgrimage to holy places for over 10 years. He must have walked enough steps to reach the moon itself. He did not seek physical suffering. To begin with, believers like them valued spiritual penance over physical toil. During those virtuous deeds, the boy stopped eating. According to the morals he was taught and believed in, if he was born a sinner, then it was only right that he suffer a fitting punishment. This continued for another 10 years. He never found the values that he sought, but arrived at another conclusion in their place. It was nothing impressive. In the end, he realized that he was born without the ability to feel what other humans called happiness. It is considered good and correct for people to be happy. Charity, trust, glory, security. He simply realized that he was born with a defect, an inability to derive joy from such things. He only found delight in the suffering of others. Their killing, their love and hate, their downfall. It was only in these negative things that the boy felt happiness. What made him unhappy was the fact that he had such a strong sense of morality in spite of his thinking patterns. Having realized this at a young age, the boy endeavored with all his might to overcome his inability to reconcile his own values with those of the world around him. Instead of accepting himself and living in pursuit of his own pleasure when he could not find joy in the things other people considered good, he attempted to save himself by making himself more human. He walked a path of faith and began to preach about life like his father did. It was said that God would forgive all. Then perhaps even someone born with a fatal flaw would be saved as well. But only a cruel outcome awaited him. Even though he followed God's teachings, obeyed his laws, and lived a simple life, he never found any pleasure greater than the suffering of others. Even as he believed in the church's doctrine that forbid any immorality, he felt nothing but corrupt thoughts. Of course, it was not painful for him. He was seeking something that he never had. He had lost nothing in the process, so there was nothing to lament. By the time the priest grew into a man, he was left with only one question. Why? Why among all the lives he could have lived, did he find joy in sin? If a deviant like him felt affirmed by committing a sin and getting drunk on corruption, that would make sense. If he stood to benefit from vice, if he hurt others for his own greed and used that profit to reap further gain, that would be logically consistent. And yet, why did he never once face a choice to turn from good to evil? He was born outside the rules, and would die cut off from the rest of the world. What did it all mean? Did it mean that he was born broken and destined to inflict harm on the world? All while lecturing about values, comprehending morals, and enforcing justice, he concluded that such evil should not exist. But so what? If such a person could not exist, then why was he born anyway? Yes. If something is flawed from the start, then it need simply not be created. The world hates evil and purges its faults. And yet something that nobody wished for was born, living a life that awaited only exclusion and death. Where is my sin? The man kept asking. What he gained from his long anguish and blind faith was not salvation. Only a question. It was not suffering, but a pure riddle, a feeling of anger with no place to go.
ではなぜマスターになどなった望みがないのであらば聖杯などいらぬだろう
The man's question snaps him out of his reverie. The priest, Kirei Kotomine, nods in self-mockery.
聖杯はいらなかったただその中身に関心があっただけだ
Yeah, the mud.
10年前聖杯を求めたのもそれがあろうとしたからだ聖杯が何であれ生まれ出ようとする者を祝福するそれが
Or I guess
私
more
の仕事だ
specifically,
から
I'll remind you.
それは生まれてくる者を微塵の関心も持たなくともか
無論だ前回の聖杯戦争でさえ私は聖杯にもその中身にも関心はなかったあの時にあったものは私と正反対の男に対する不快感だけだった
But the priest thinks. He is interested in Kirei Kotomine's conclusion. In the end of a man who can only find happiness in the suffering of others. Zoken Mato's schemes. The birth of yet another holy grail. The thing called all the evil in the world, created by the people yet unwanted by them. If such a being can truly be conceived, that must be...
善悪の所在殻に詰め込まれながら帰ることのなかったもの
There are no answers to be found in the Holy Grail. It is a wish granter which gives form to its master's desires. Thus, it cannot grant revelations to someone without any desires. But...
答えを出すのではなく答えを出せるものを聖杯から生み落とすとしたらどうなる
何
The young man narrows his eyes. The priest laughs in front of the statue.
ことみ
His smile is like that of a dying woman. To think that this unfeeling man can make such an expression.
答えは近い仮にこの疑問が神を冒涜するというのなら
Looking up at the statue, the priest's eyes are not laughing. Then, like an angel descending upon the earth,
神前においてこの前例をかけ我が主さえ問い殺そう
he gazes off into the distant sky, a curse burning in his eyes. I find it surprising that even Gilgamesh is like, what the fuck is he talking about? I go up the hill. There's no life in the town. It's still only 8 or 9 o'clock, but not only is there no one outside, the town doesn't even have the warmth of people living in it. I find myself leaning against a fence. My left arm is burning. Maybe I stopped being as tense once I was alone, but my left arm's been hurting ever since I started up the hill.
そりゃそうかよその腕を無理やりつけてるんだから痛まないはずがない
I'm having a hard time catching my breath. The heat spreads throughout my left arm with each step I take, its temperature slowly rising. Whenever it gets too far away from my normal body temperature, fresh pain stabs into my chest from the tip of my shoulder.
痛いのは腕じゃなくてこっち側なわけか
I rest my back against the wall and take a deep breath. I've more or less gotten used to how the pain works. It's like refrigeration. For whatever reason, my left arm becomes hot whenever I move. Once enough heat builds up in the arm, it gets dumped into my body. This pain comes from the heat burning my body. I have the acute sensation of something foreign being injected, and it feels more like being cut than heated. Every time the red vertigo comes, I feel a long blade stab me in the shoulder, and I almost think I hear grinding sounds inside my body. To be honest, I'm not sure how much more I can take of this. Berserkers tore my stomach open before, and riders caved my rib cage in. Even though I've experienced damage like that before, the thought of my own arm stabbing my body gives me chills.
大丈夫、落ち着け。体温を上げずにおけば、こいつだっておとなしくする。
I look up at the night sky and steady my breathing. It's already been 20 minutes since I parted ways with Tosaka and Ilya. Before, I would have gotten home by now, but I can't let Sakura see me this winded and sweaty. I should keep my left arm's problems to myself.
くそ、琴峰のやつ。何が実生活に支障はないんだ。こいつになれるのは一筋縄じゃいかないぞ。
I press my hand on my left shoulder, against the red cloth wrapping my arm. My left arm can't so much as twitch, and it's hard as iron. Okay. I'm not sweating anymore, and my breathing is regular. It's getting late, so I'd better look as peppy as I can and say hi to Sakura. I take a deep breath and announce myself as loudly as I walk through the front door.
おかえりなさい、先輩。
Sakura's already at the entrance, like she's been waiting here the whole time.
なんだよ、元気ないな。出迎えてくれたのは嬉しいけど、そんな顔じゃ素直に喜べないぞ。
I take off my shoes and go into the corridor. For now, I want to rest my body. I'll go to the living room and have a cup of tea before I tell Sakura what happened today.
そういうわけにはいかないか。お茶の前に事情を話しておかないとな。
Tosaka will be here soon. If I don't explain the situation first, Sakura will be on guard against Tosaka.
さくら、今日のことなんだけど。
先輩、何もおっしゃらないんですか？
Before I can finish, Sakura asks me a faltering question.
何もって何が？
Sakura is silent. She's looking at my left arm.
まあ、これのことか。そうだよな。見かけがこんなんじゃ普通驚く。
It's wrapped in thick cloths that are clearly more than just bandages. Sakura may not know what happened, but anyone would notice that.
うん、ちょっと怪我した。けど問題なく動くし、もうなんともない。本当はこんな布も邪魔なだけなんだけど、琴峰のやつが外すなってうるさくてさ。まあ治療してもらった手前もあるし、おとなしく言うことは聞いとくんだけど。
I pat my left arm to show that I'm okay. That just makes Sakura get even more quiet.
さくら？いや、本当に大丈夫なんだぞ。大げさなだけで、ただのかすり傷だって。こんなのはすぐに治るし、さくらが気にするようなことじゃ。
かすり傷なわけないじゃないですか。もう先輩の腕ですらないんですよ。指先だって満足に動かないのに、どうしてそんなこと言うんですか？いくら私だってそんな見えすいた嘘になんか騙されません。それとも先輩は私に話しても無駄だから黙ってるんですか？
She lashes out with fiery anger. I'm speechless at my own stupidity. I didn't consider what Sakura must have felt like staying at home all by herself today.
さくら。
ごめんなさい先輩。責めるつもりじゃなかったんです。私はただ先輩があんまりにも無茶をして先輩自身のことを大事にしてあげないのが
違う。あ、いや、さくらの言う通りだけど違う。俺、怒鳴られて怒ったわけじゃない。真剣に怒ったさくらを見たのは初めてだから、驚いて反省した。
反省したって。
ああ、確かに強がるのは良くない。 それがさくらならなおさらだ。きっと俺はさくらにかっこ悪いところを見せたくなかったんだ。けど考えてみればそっちの方がかっこ悪い。さくらが怒るのも当たり前だ。
いえ、先輩がかっこ悪いなんてそんなこと絶対ないですけど。
No, I definitely am. What was I thinking, hoping not to make her worry by telling her nothing at all? I was just trying to put on a strong front for Sakura.
なあ、ごめんなさくら。俺やられちまった。腕はなんとかなったけどさくらの役には立てなかった。
そんなことないです。先輩は立派でした。私は見てませんけど、すごくかっこよかったです。
いや、これが本当に情けなかったんで、そう言われると辛い。満足にイリアも助けられなかったし、ただ逃げ帰ってくるだけだったし。い
え、それでもちゃんと帰ってきてくれました。先輩が約束を守ってくれたので、私はすごく嬉しいです。
それはよかった。
I scratched my head bashfully. Still, though, I'm both happy and embarrassed to have her say that to me.
そうだな。とりあえず生きてるだけで合格点だよな。
はい、先輩はかっこいいです。私惚れ直しちゃいました。
Sakura seems to have cheered up incredibly because she gives me a sunny grin. I don't know exactly what to say to that, so I just...
こういう時はどう返せばいいんだろう、遠坂。
さあ、私の意見としてはあんまり玄関先でイチャつかないでほしいってことぐらいね。
I turn to Tosaku, who's right behind me. Our surprised voices harmonize. Sakura and I take a surprised half step back.
遠坂、いつからそこに？
遠坂先輩、なんでうちにいるんですか？
And we exclaim our shock in unison too.
いつからそこにじゃないわよ。もう話がついてるかと思えば二人して仲良く喧嘩してるし。まったく。
Oh, so you saw that
今が
whole
どんな
thing,
状況な
huh?
のか分かってるの？シロ。
That's not embarrassing. Tosaka sets a large overnight bag down on the entrance floor. Behind her, I see Ilya standing silently, looking very tense.
遠坂先輩、昨日の続きなら私は構いません。先輩が守ってくれる以上、私だって魔導の魔術師として全力であなたと戦います。
Sakura, calm down. Sakura balls her hands into fists and enters a staring match with Tosaka. No, it's more like a frog just really standing up to a snake that spotted its prey.
それもまだ聞いてなかったのね。いい？さくら。とりあえずあなたの処置は保留するわ。私の最優先事項は造剣を倒すこと。あなたとの決着はその後よ。まあ造剣さえ倒してしまえばあなたと戦うこともなくなるから、うまくいけば造剣を倒すだけでことは済むわけだけど。
それじゃ
あなた、いえ、シローと協力して造剣退治をするってことで、そうなると離れて過ごすのはもったいないでしょ。だから今夜からここで生活してシローを鍛えることにしたの。短期間で戦力、そういうわけだからしばらくシローを借りるわ。荒領事になるけど問題ないわよね、二人とも。
Rin Tosaka starts laying out my schedule without any input from me.
待った遠坂、そんなこといきなり。
そんなのダメです。いえ、遠坂先輩はどんな権利があってそんなこと言うんですか？
言われてもさ、ほら心の準備とかあるじゃんか。
I meekly protest. Of course, my opinion is completely rejected by Sakura's outcry and Tosaka's stern glance.
あら、権利さえあればいいの？ならますます問題ないわね。彼が生きているのは私のおかげだもの。その借りを返すまでシローは私の言うことを聞くしかないの。居場所を明け渡せって言えば明け渡してくれるし、ちゃんと3食付きにしてって言ったらしてくれるのよね。
Tosaka, people are bound to get the wrong idea when you say it that way.
そんな本当なんですか先輩。
まあ遠坂の発言にはところどころ反論したいんだが、言ってることは本当だ。それに仲間は多い方がいいだろ。造剣が桜を狙っているのは確かなんだ。遠坂がいてくれるなら確実に桜を守れる。
Besides, Tosaka's her big sister. I prefer it if they were together, and I don't want them to fight.
わかりました。先輩がそう言うなら納得します。
Sakura looks away.
決まりね。それじゃあ上がらせてもらうわよ。ほらシロ、客間に案内して。前に上がった時離れの客間に目をつけてたんだから。ああ、イリアはどこがいい？
別にどこでもいいけど、そこの女の近くは嫌よ。
そうなの？ならイリアは和室ね。
Tosaka and Ilya casually banter. They seem close enough to be on a first-name basis now.
あ、そうだ、さくら、こっちの子がイリア。バーサーカーはやられちまったけど、なんとかイリアだけは助けられた。遠坂同様、これからうちで預かるけど仲良くしてやってくれ。
I introduced Sakura and Ilya to each other.
よろしくさくら。マキリの娘だそうだけど、軽蔑はしないであげるわ。一応シローの知り合いみたいだし、特別に人間扱いしてあげる。そうですね。じゃあ私もあなたと同じように振る舞います。
That's the extent of their greetings. Ilya leaves Tosaka and walks to the living room. As she does, I see Sakura watching her with somewhat cold eyes. Dinner comes and goes like a sudden storm. Okay, to call it a storm would be misleading. It was more like a doldrum where you lose track of time because there's no wind, and then it ends before you know it. Anyway, it was a dinner fraught with tension.
夕飯なら私が作りましょうか。引っ越しそばのようなものだし。
With that, Tosaka starts cooking on her own, and I'm forced to admit that she's better at it than me. Sakura's Western-style cooking might be what might barely measure up.
遠坂先輩、お料理上手なんですね。
Sakura was stunned, but she still ended up eating the food too. I was so stressed out by everything happening, like Tosaka's home cooking, eating together with Tosaka, Sakura looking downtrodden, not to mention the awkward vibe between her and Ilya, that I really couldn't move much. As a result, I couldn't enjoy Tosaka's excellent cooking, and spent the hour being reminded of what a flawless overachiever Rin Tosaka is. And then...
じゃあ私は部屋の準備があるから引き上げるわ。詳しい話は明日の朝にするから、今夜はもう休みなさい。
She even washes all the dishes until they're spotless before she excuses herself.
私も部屋に行ってるわ。今日森に行った人はみんな疲れてるんだから、早めに寝ないと体が持たないわよ。
I don't know if that was a dig at Sakura, but Ilya leaves without looking at her.
なんだって言うんだ、まったく。
In a sense, everything's going just as Tosaka predicted, although Ilya's attitude has been weird. The way she's treating Sakura is similar to the icy demeanor she had when we first met.
イリア、さくらとは初対面のくせに、なんであんなに突っかかるんだろう。やっぱり、アインツベルンとマキリって仲が悪いのかな。
According to Kotomine, the Einsburns, Makiris, and Tosakas were prestigious mage families that founded the Holy Grail War. Apparently, the Einsburns had the most authority, so maybe Ilya thinks of Tosakas and Sakura as beneath her.
誤解しないでくれよ、さくら。イリアは気難しいからあんなことを言ってるけど、ちょっと話せばすぐに仲良くなれる。あいつ、単に人見知りが激しいだけって、さくら。
Sakura doesn't answer. I watch her head waver until she falls limply backward.
さくら
Uh-oh. I catch her by the shoulders.
あれ、先輩、どうしたんですか？そんな怖い顔して。
Sakura didn't even realize it. She's asking me what's happening, as if she wasn't about to faint.
いや、別に大したことじゃない。
I let go of her shoulders. Looks like that was enough to make her notice.
すみません。ちょっと疲れてたから眠っちゃってました。
She apologizes for something she doesn't even understand.
そっか、昨日の今日だし、さくらは安静にしてないとな。遠坂もああ言ってたし、今日はもう寝よう。無理に起きてる必要はない。
そうですね。じゃあお言葉に甘えちゃいます。今晩ぐっすり眠ればきっと明日には元気になってますし、今夜は遠坂先輩にご馳走してもらいましたから、明日の朝は私が受け持ちますね。先輩仕込みの朝食で仕返ししてあげちゃいます。
She stands up with a mischievous grin. Her gait is steady. Accompanying her to her bedroom would backfire right now. If Sakura's trying to convince me that she's okay, then I should believe her.
そうだな。おごれる遠坂の鼻をへし折ってやってくれ。さくらが最後の砦だ。正直、ここで遠坂に一撃くれておかないと後がない。
任せてください。きっとワンパンチしてみせますから。
頼もしいな。じゃあ及ばずながら俺もなんか手伝わせてくれ。今夜はさっさと寝て、明日の朝6時に台所に集合ってことでいいかな。
はい、お待ちしています先輩。
Sakura gives me a polite bow, then leaves to the side hallway. Just before she's gone,
先輩、さっきのこと姉さんには黙っていてください。
she says in a strange voice without turning around.
ああ、ただの居眠りなんだから遠坂に言うほどのことじゃないだろ。
はい、おやすみなさい先輩。
She slides the door shut. Sakura goes off to the guest house without looking back. She must mean her fainting spell. Sakura isn't recovering as well as she hopes. Kotomine said that she only has days left. Regardless of what Zoken wants to do with her, she isn't stable. That's why she's been trying to put on a strong front. She'll be fine. That's what she insists on telling us because she doesn't want us to worry.
姉さんか。
Sakura never refers to Tosaka that way except when we're alone. And then only sometimes when something's weighing on her mind. When she can't stop herself from wishing for help, she calls Tosaka her big sister. Their complicated family background is what led to a wall being built between sisters. If we can destroy that wall, then they can go back to being regular siblings. I think that might be the best thing I can do for Sakura.
二人ともギクシャクしてるけど脈はあるし。
No one saw this situation coming, but it might turn out to be a good chance to tear down that wall. So hot. I open my eyes. I can't sleep. My pajamas are heavy with sweat. I kick off the covers. I wipe my forehead, finding that it's slick with enough sweat to soak a kitchen rag. I can't think straight. Did the summer-like heat cook my brain? I think as hard as I can, but I can't tell what, when, or where this is. I go out into the yard. I just want to cool off my burning body. Was the room hot or was it just me? Thinking is a pain, so I'll sleep in the shed tonight. It's cold in there. It doesn't matter whether it's hot or... Suddenly, stabbing pain drives me to my knees. I keel over, panting hard. I'm awake. I clutch my left arm, the source of the heat and pain. It's wrapped in a holy shroud. The red cloth locks the arm up tight. I can move it, but it's wrapped so tightly the blood is cut off. Then I wonder if it's the cloth that's hurting my arm.
案外これを取れば元通りだったりしてな。
It's a terribly enticing delusion. I haven't even seen what's under the red cloth yet. It's not that I don't believe what the priest said, but what if he's wrong? Nothing's that wrong with my arm. Maybe if I unwrap it, it'll just be the same old arm I've always known. Can't possibly be made of steel. The only reason I can't move it is because it's bound up so tightly. If I unwrap it, I'm sure... take it off. That it'll be my old left arm. What? Can't breathe. Nerves. My nerves. It hurts. Alive, but can't feel. Cold. Die. Hurry. Put it back on. Scared. Arm. Hurry, put it back on under the cloth. It's dark. This isn't my arm. What was I doing? For a second I tried undoing the cloth wrap. I don't understand what happened after that. What happened to me? What will happen to me? It took place just a few seconds ago, but I can't remember it at all. If I take it off, I'll die. The priest was telling the truth. I don't know exactly what's happening, but whatever's underneath that cloth, it isn't mine.
忘れろ。ただ筆が動かないだけだ。これ以上考えればきっと。
My mind will go dull from the terror. I can't afford to let that happen. Archer didn't give up his arm to save my life just so I could freeze in fear.
そうだ。今は俺の腕なんかより桜のことを考えないと。
Sakura seemed the same as she was this morning, but I never know when she might collapse. I need to defeat Zoken and obtain the Holy Grail before then. Right now, I need to think of ways to make that happen. Ways to beat Zoken and Assassin with one arm. And they're not my only enemies. We're facing a mysterious unknown foe, too. I don't know the story behind it. I have no idea what that black shadow is, nor how Saber became Zoken's servant. All I know is that she's my enemy now. Actually, I do know something. I don't have a chance of beating her. I don't know what the dull pain in my arm is going to turn into next. I'm at an overwhelming disadvantage and I'm starting to lose sight of even who I am anymore. How am I supposed to protect Sakura in this state? I hear footsteps and stand up. Someone's behind me. I can tell who's here without even needing to turn around. The black-clad servant is as stoic as ever. Before, she wouldn't have announced herself with so much noise, but she must have done it for my benefit.
なんか用か、ライダー。
Ryder looks down at me wordlessly. Not that it matters, but Ryder is tall. Something must be wrong with me to suddenly care about that.
何がおかしいのですか、シロ。こちらはまだ何も告げてはいませんが。
ね、ああ、今のは違うよ。ライダー、俺より背が高いだろ。もう随分と顔を合わせてきたのに、今になって気がついてさ。我ながら間の抜けたやつだって笑ったんだ。
そうですか。先ほどは苦しんでいるように見えましたが、いらぬ気遣いだったようですね。
Is it just me or does Ryder sound a little angry?
と、それよりライダー、今日助けてくれたのはお前か？記憶にないんだけど、あの森から教会まで運んでくれたのはライダーの気がするんだけど。
そうですね。あなたたちを運んだのは私です。さくらはあなたを守ると言った。私はサーバントとして彼女に。
そうか、それは助かったけど、ライダーを使ったってことはさくらも魔力を使ったってことだよな。じゃあ。
ええ、残り少ないさくらの魔力はさらに失われたということです。今日のようにさくらが私を使えば、私はさくらを食いつぶしてしまうでしょう。
Ryder's voice is flat. It doesn't contain any malice or pity for Sakura. She's just stating the fact of being a servant.
ライダー、一つ聞いていいか？
構いません。尋ね事があるのならさ。
じゃあ聞く。ライダーはさくらがレイジをなくしたらそのままさくらを殺すのか？
A master who runs out of command spells would typically get attacked by their own servant. If Sakura and Ryder don't have a bond of trust, Ryder will ruthlessly kill Sakura and use her body as fuel until she makes a pact with a new master. Ryder's only protecting Sakura as her servant. It doesn't seem like it's out of any genuine affection. That's why I need to determine her intentions here.
どうなんだ？お前はさくらを殺すのか？
ええ、さくらがそれを望むのなら私の手で楽にしようとは考えています。ですがシロ、私は彼女の生存を望んでいる。
じゃあライダーはレイジがなくなってもさくらを襲わないんだな。
レイジの縛りは関係ありません。私はさくらがマスターである限り自らの意志で彼女を守る。私は彼女が好きですから。
本当に？
ええ。意外ですか、シロ。私が感情を持つことが。
Really don't express it much.
いや、すまん、勘違いしてた。そんな風には見えなかったからつい。
謝る必要はありません。私はさくらとまともに話したことはありませんし、さくらも私には話しかけない。けれどシロ、サーバントは自分に近いものに呼ばれるのです。あなたがセーバーを召喚したのは偶然ではなく、その魂の在り方が近いからでしょう。そういった意味で言えば私とさくらは同じものです。もともと饒舌ではないのですから、会話がないのも当然でしょう。そのようなものがなくとも私たちはお互いをよく分かっています。
Ryder's voice takes on a clearly warm tone. From her appearance, I imagine her to be more cold and ruthless. But now I'm wondering if she's a truly gentle soul.
そっか。それはよかった。ライダーがさくらの味方でいてくれてすごく嬉しい。
そうですか。では私の番ですね。シロ、あなたはさくらがマキリの家にもらわれてから今まで何？
それは。
I couldn't possibly understand. Though I've already heard from Kotomine's lips what happened to her.
わからない。だからそれを口にすることもしちゃいけないと思う。
Yeah. I'm the lowest of mages, but even I know what kind of person Zoken is. It's easy to imagine the awful things he's capable of, and it would probably be close to the truth. Still, I could never claim to understand what Sakura's been through.
でしょうね。さくらはあなたに知られないように努めてきた。そのあなたがここでわかるなどと口にすれば、私はあなたを殺している。
それはさくらのために。
ええ。けれどその必要はなかったようです。あなたは未熟で不器用ですが、その真にあるものは信用に足ります。だからこそ さくらにとってあなたは救いだったのでしょう。長い間彼女の中には諦めしかなかった。絶望しただ受け入れるだけの日々が延々と続いていた。そこに変化が生じたのはあなたと知り合ってからです。シロ、あなたはさくらに諦め以外のなくしていた諸々の感情を取り戻させた。その中で最も大きかったのは痛みと苦しみですが、それでも諦めるだけだった彼女にとってあなたは唯一確かな救いだったのです。
I can't quite read the intent behind what Ryder is saying. I don't know why she came to love me when she suffered on a level that I could never possibly relate to. But her words are utterly sincere, coming from someone who shares her senses with her master. Ryder is quiet. It's like she's speaking on Sakura's behalf.
シロ、あなたはさくらを幸せにすると言いましたが、さくらにとってはこの2年間こそが幸福だった。
Her voice contains quiet sadness and gratitude.
私が尋ねたかったのはそれだけです。さくらの幸福はあなたが生きてそばにいてくれるということ。それ以外に彼女が望むものなどない。
Ryder examines me through her blindfold. Her expression inquires if I understand the significance of what she's saying. To Sakura Mato, Shiro Emiya fighting this war is a threat to her happiness. Ryder's challenging what I plan to do with this beat-up body of mine.
けど俺は
I try to clench my unmoving left hand. If I can still fight, then I have to, no matter what shape I'm in. I swore that I'd save Sakura. I decided that I'd fight for her sake now, not to end the war. That's why, if I stop here, then I'll have nothing left. Silence falls over us. Ryder stops talking, and I stare at the ground, not answering. I wonder how much time passes.
あなたはさくらの味方ですか、シロ。この先にたとえ何があったとしても。
The answer to her question is obvious. Shiro Emiya swore to be Sakura Mato's ally. I have to nod firmly. I know that, but I can't say it out loud.
たとえ何があったとしても。
Deep inside myself, I realize what she means.
わかりました。ここで無理をせずとも答えはいずれ出ます。その時までに覚悟を決めておくのですね。
Ryder virtually blends into the darkness as she departs. I watch her go and then look up at the sky. Yeah. She noticed that I couldn't give her a clear answer. The black shadow that I still don't understand. This unstable left arm. The ideals I've followed my entire life that I decided to cast aside. They all show me where I'm headed. With the Holy Grail, I can make any other wish come true. Perhaps my wish to make Sakura happy is an illusion that no amount of power can ever grant. Oh, red interlude. That's usually ominous. I dream of a box for breeding bugs. A ruined nest. Black pupa. I have no memory of my birth. I thrive and flourish. My roots have always been unknown. I have no memory of my death day. Was this assassin? I walk at a steady pace. Or is this the shadow? My empty head sways from side to side, absent of any clear destination. shiver and tremble. Go, go. My dry hands and feet rattle like paper balloons, tumbling along the ground. I'll get to float once I grow up. Go, go. Go, go. Go, go.
おい見ろよあれなんかのあいつ
Somebody squeaks as they come up to me.
お、いい女じゃん。裸足？やべえ。顔色。
People swarm up to me.
だな飛沫お相手やらね
Empty laughter. I don't remember asking them to come. They're scaring me. Time to go home.
おい何逃げだお前
待てってなあったのかやか
いいんじゃねえの？ガッタルソン。町へあるねえって。
そうなってことはいいか俺たちで保護してあげとダメ
賛成僕は困ってる人だ守りた思いま
な
They keep chasing me. Their screeching gives me a headache, so my empty tummy rumbles. Oh no.
今夜虫を潰した。
Well, that was Sakura's voice. Okay. That's not great. Alright, so I guess I'll end the episode off here. And in the next one, we'll move on to day 11. So, I will see you all then. Bye.